Gold, welcome to Phoenix International Raceway. It's a beautiful day. The racing is going to be as hot as the temperature. It's in the high 80s, low 90s. And we've been talking so much about the championship. Let's not forget today's race itself, because some of the big names in the race may not be those battling for the title, Glenn Jarrett. A whole different group of names to talk about.
Oh, absolutely, Eli. And this has been Bobby Hamilton week in the world of motorsports. He wanted to rock on Monday. He came to Phoenix. He's been the fastest right out the truck in practice, sometimes by as much as a quarter of a second. He's on the pole. He's looking for his second consecutive win in NASCAR and second consecutive win here at Phoenix. He's the man that they have got to catch. Steve Burns.
And the man next to him on the outside pole, Glenn, is Jimmy Spencer. And Jimmy Spencer is hungry for victory. He hasn't won since July of 1994. Just 4 top 10 finishes. He's 21st in the points. But more than anything, he wants to win here in Phoenix. Let's go to Matt Yocum.
Rusty Wallace's roller coaster ride has seen many highs and lows in '97. He scored 1 victory at Richmond, but his season has been tarnished by 11 DNFs. To turn things around, his car owner, Roger Penske, suggested, bring Ronnie, your favorite car, to Phoenix. It paid off in qualifying. His best start in 22 races, 3rd. Now they're hoping for the more lucrative payout of victory. It would mark the first for Penske Racing and NASCAR racing here on the Phoenix Mile. Eli.
And as they fire the engines, Dr. Dick Berggren has joined me. He, along with his $8 hat, have just returned from the Winston Cup garage area. What's the mood like down there?
The mood is one of concern, Eli. Everybody is worried about this guy Hamilton. He not only won the race here last year, he won the race last week. They had 3 hot practice sessions here. He's been quickest in 2 out of the 3, and everybody says Hamilton has them nervous.
And that, of course, is a Pontiac, and Buddy Baker, again, like Rockingham. It's a storyline here.
Well, it is. Everybody thinks the Pontiac has a great edge. It is getting through the corners on long runs. That's the thing to look at today. Also, remember, Bill Elliott has been one of the fastest cars in every practice. Bobby Labonte last evening come in, told him he had a vibration in the car. They didn't take a chance. They changed the motor, transmission, and gear. Reason? They're winless this year. They need to win. A lot of these cars are winless this year. They need a good run today. Look for Bobby Labonte to be a big factor today.
So when we come back, we'll take a look at the starting lineup, and then all the talk will be done. It's up to those guys to start to perform. NASCAR Winston. CNN Motorsports live coverage of the Dura-Lube 500K presented by Kmart is brought to you by Texaco, a world of energy. By the more than 1,750 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By Miller Lite, who remind you that anything can happen at Miller time. And by MCI. Is this a great time or what? Let us take a look at the starting lineup for today's Dura-Lube 500K presented by Kmart. Second pole of the year, 4th of his career for Bobby Hamilton, and the best start since 1994 for Jimmy Spencer. Rusty Wallace, 2 Phoenix poles. 1996 pole winner Bobby Labonte. Rick Mast, good to see him back up there, Dick Berggren, after a good run last week in Rockingham.
He did have a good run last week, and I think they found some things in that car. Could be a great day for him today, Eli.
Dale Earnhardt, who won here in 1990, and Johnny Benson. Dale Jarrett, his 25th top 10 start of the year, and Lake Speed. Kenny Irwin Jr., and there's a case from the outhouse to the penthouse, Buddy Baker, after he missed the race at Rockingham.
He missed the race at Rockingham, but he's had great qualifying efforts for the Yates Racing team, and hey, he's only going to get better. He's kind of like Jeff Gordon. If you don't like him now, you're going to have to put up with him for a long time. He's got a lot of talent.
There's Jeff Bodine, who was 6th a year ago, and Joe Nemechek, second top 10 of 97 was last week. He finished 10th. DW and Steve Grissom, they share the 19th and 20th spots. Kenny Wallace and Jeremy Mayfield, and Jeremy is only 16 points out of the top 10.
Yeah, and he's got a different paint scheme today. Car is black.
Ted Musgrave, Robert Presley, Ernie Irvin, and Sterling Marlin, 25th and 26th. Ward Burton and Greg Sachs in 27th and 28th. Terry Labonte, Michael Waltrip. You know, he has the best average finish of all the drivers here at Phoenix over the years. Hud Strickland, Kyle Petty, his 500th NASCAR Winston Cup start here today. Bill Elliott, Jeff Burton, Dave Marcus, Ricky Rudd, his 4th provisional of the year. And the remaining provisional starters, David Green, he's not finished better than 16th all year. Chad Little and Ricky Craven. There you have the 43 teams set to go racing. Let's check out the in-car cameras for you. Rusty Wallace, he'll be with us. Mark Martin, he'll be carrying us around the speedway. So too Jeremy Mayfield. We'll be riding shotgun with the Remington team of Rick Mast. Kenny Wallace in the Square D entry, and the man who has been so proficient on super speedways, Jeff Burton. And there you have those who'll be taking us around Phoenix International Raceway. 1-mile racetrack. Turns 1 and 2 banked 11 degrees. Turns 3 and 4 9 degrees. Crowd is into it, and let's see what happens if the championship can be wrapped up today. Green flag in Phoenix. Good, clean lap number 1. Jimmy Spencer is the man who brings him back to the stripe.
Jimmy Spencer won the drag race there, going through the gears. But look at Bobby Hamilton fight back on the inside, down through the dog leg on the back straightaway. It looks like Hamilton has about a car left lead now, going into turn 3.
So Jimmy Spencer, who led for the 8th different race on lap number 1, now yields to Bobby Hamilton in lap 2. And guys, basically what they were telling us in the garage all morning, Hamilton's the guy to chase today.
Yeah, one of the interesting statistics about this place is this is the 10th Winston Cup race here. This event has never been won by anyone who started on the pole. In fact, it's never been won by anybody who started on the front row. But our 2 front row starters are currently running 1st and 2nd.
Statistics are only numbers, I'll tell you that, buddy. This don't mean a thing today. Look at this. Here comes Rusty Wallace fighting by Jimmy Spencer down into turn 1.
This is for 2nd spot. Now remember, Rusty has won on every flat mile track in the world, except this one. He's even won on the dirt in DuQuoin. He's just never won here at Phoenix, despite running very well.
I can add to that, Roger Penske told them, bring this car. It's the Martinsville car. It's their short track car. They want to run fast on the flat surface here. So they're looking for a great run today.
There's 10th and 11th on your screen right now. Gordon, Jarrett, Kenny Irwin in the 27th. Of course, the battle for the points right there. The 3rd member of that exchange, Mark Martin, is back in 18th at the moment.
See Dale Jarrett there is ahead of the 24 car of Jeff Gordon right at the moment. These guys are going to race pretty. If I was Jeff Gordon, I would try to take care of my car and not really get into an altercation. He hit the wall last week in Rockingham on the 1st lap and nearly had a problem later on in the race that come from that mistake. So look for him to run very defensive today.
Watching Jarrett, that is the same car that Ernie Irvin won the pole with at Indianapolis earlier this year. Same one that Kenny Irwin qualified 2nd with at Richmond and led those 12 laps. So he's the 3rd different driver in that same car. 3rd different paint scheme in that car since August.
There again, a good battle between Bobby Labonte, Kenny Schrader, Dale Earnhardt. That is 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Schrader's real good here. He has won 8 times at Phoenix. Chuck Gurney has also won 8 times at Phoenix. That's the most anybody's won at this place.
But never in NASCAR Winston Cup. He's won on the Southwest Tour, USAC Copper World Classic, Midgets. Never in NASCAR Winston Cup. As again, you see the battle on your screen. Mark Martin working there with Ernie Irvin, 21st and 22nd.
And that black car you see there, that's Jeremy Mayfield. It's a new paint job for this race here. It's a black car this time instead of the familiar red, white, and blue car. So,
Mark Martin, we showed you there in 21st. He started 14th. And we'll get an update from his pits shortly as to why they have backslid as you are riding with Mark right now.
Eli would speculate that Mark Martin sets his car up for long runs. He may be a little bit tight right now, and the racetrack will come to him. As the surface gets a little more slick, he'll pick it up.
Ken Schrader in the 33. The 18, Bobby Labonte. That's 4th and 5th.
Schrader. Here comes Earnhardt on the outside of Bobby Labonte. He's going very, very hard through the corners. One thing Larry McReynolds says, they preach to Earnhardt, take care of the tires. Well, he's not doing it right now. He's running the wheels off of it.
Earnhardt, who has finished second 4 times this year. Steve Burns, what's the deal on Mark Martin? He's all the way back to 22nd now.
But Eli, they're not surprised about that. I talked to Jimmy Fennick, the crew chief on the 6th car prior to the race. They were one of the teams. Dick Berggren talked about how many of them were concerned. They were one of the teams that made some changes this morning. They were too tight during happy hour. So, again, they're not running that well, but they're not all that surprised. They're set up for a longer run.
I wouldn't worry about those guys at all. That team knows what they're doing at this racetrack. They have the most top 5s. They've won the most money here. They've led the most laps here. 3 seconds and 1 win in the last 5 starts. They absolutely do well here at Phoenix. This, in fact, may be their best racetrack. Don't count them out yet.
There is the race leader, Bobby Hamilton. He took over the top spot at lap 2. The king on his throne, showing no... The AutoZone Race Analysis, brought to you by the more than 1,750 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. There are the numbers going into the start of today's event. There's the battle for second on your screen. Jimmy Spencer in the 23. Rusty Wallace in the 2. And you see Spencer has the handle right there, working that inside groove nicely.
Oh, they got awful close in the center part of the corner there. Jimmy Spencer slid right up into Rusty Wallace, but they did not make contact. I'm sure right now Rusty realizes that Spencer's a little quicker right at this portion of the race.
All of this is taking place 3.5 seconds now behind the race leader, Bobby Hamilton, who has set sail as everybody and his brother expected we would see here today. It's not been a surprise.
He is way out there. Spencer having a good battle with Rusty Wallace now. Spencer learned this trade on the flat tracks. He said, remember, Stafford Springs Speedway, Owego, New York, the 3/4 mile at Pocono, that's where I learned how to race. And he obviously learned it real well, running a second spot today, having a great run today, buddy.
And how about the 33 and the 3 right there? Schrader and Earnhardt, that's 4th and 5th.
Earnhardt's putting a lot of pressure on him. These cars are really very close to... Look, as you see Earnhardt getting under him, getting in the corner. Now you'll see the 33 get a little bit better drive on the high side of the racetrack. Pulls out about a car length and a half down the back straightaway.
Of course, Schrader was second fastest in the final practice here yesterday, second only to Bobby Hamilton. And there's Earnhardt, Matt Yoakum, and he's not going to give a break at all there, trying to grab that spot from Schrader.
Well, he ducks underneath Kenny Schrader coming down the front straightaway. He's reporting to Larry McReynolds his car is just a tick loose. Nobody drives a car better loose than Dale Earnhardt. Hey, and this guy should be the one to watch today. Between he and crew chief Larry McReynolds, they have 3 victories here at Phoenix. The car he started today in 3 starts this year, 2 second places. Maybe today is the day.
Of course, you had the 2 wins for Davey Allison here. Larry McReynolds part of that operation. And then the Richard Childress team with Earnhardt as the driver, winning here back in 1990. Now, what's right behind them? You see the green number 18, Bobby Labonte, and the 30, that's Johnny Benson. They're battling for 5th and 6th.
Johnny Benson having a great day today, and Bobby Labonte, I told you earlier in the show that he had changed the engine, transmission, and gear. He had a vibration in that car that was really bothering him. They said, we don't want to take a chance. We're going to change everything.
Might as well at this time of the year. Also creeping in right back there, that blue number 88. That's 8th place, Dale Jarrett. Obviously very much a part of the NASCAR Winston Cup point chase, and he is caught up with Johnny Benson and the rest. If you're new to TNN or to NASCAR Winston Cup racing, we'll keep that crawl going across the top of the screen for you all day long, so you'll know exactly where your favorite driver is running. There you see through 15th spot with Joe Nemechek, Darrell Waltrip back in 20th position now. Glenn, your brother's closing in fairly well on the straightaways, but it looks like Benson pulls him off the corner.
Well, Eli, big clocking several of the cars down here, particularly Bobby Hamilton and second place Jimmy Spencer. And right now, in the last few laps, Dale Jarrett has had the fastest lap, so he has closed the distance a little bit, but wow, Bobby got off to such a great start. They're going to have to go a lot faster for a lot longer to even run him down.
Now let's take you a little further back now to 20th position right there. Darrell Waltrip, as we have problems, turn 4. Caution is on the speed well.
Got a caution here. Got a caution.
Robert Presley, as he spins through turn number 4, Robert Presley brings out the first yellow of the day, lap number 23. We were about to say there was a dandy of a battle with Darrell Waltrip and Irvin and Brett Bodine back in 19th, 20th, and 21st. But all of that now goes by the wayside as Robert Presley right there in the Jasper Federal Mogul entry brings out the first caution flag of the day. If you're curious, a year ago, 5 cautions for a total of 25 laps. Back with you at Phoenix International Raceway. The Dura-Lube 500K presented by Kmart is under caution. Many have made pit stops. Mark Martin is there, so is Steve Burns.
Eli, we heard Mark Martin radio in. He said the car is terrible tight like it was in practice yesterday. They're making a chassis adjustment to the right rear, a pretty major one we may add, and it's going to be a 4-tire change for Mark Martin. They made some adjustments this morning, but they may have guessed the wrong way. 4 tires for Mark Martin.
Let's take a look again at what happened to the 77 in turn 4, buddy.
Well, he's already sideways, but I would speculate you see the 40 car there, Greg Sachs. It looked like he may have got in the back of Presley as they were coming off turn 4. And once you get hit there, the car is very light. It'll turn right around on you.
And there is Robert Presley able to continue after a stop. Matt Yoakum, we need to point out, though, there's a wide variance of pit strategy here. Some obviously choosing not to stop at all.
Well, Eli, the Dale Jarrett crew talked about it. They were going to pit if Bobby Hamilton pitted, but monkey see, monkey do. Hamilton stayed out. So did the 88 car. They were also talking about some 2- and 4-tire pit stops because keep in mind, the tire wear here is excellent. A lot of guys know track position is key, so keep in mind you will see some 2-tire stops today. The 88 bunch have decided to stay out.
But we are early here in Phoenix. A Pontiac is currently leading, though remember that Ford has won 6 of the previous 9 races. We have just gone back green here at Phoenix International Raceway, and Jimmy Spencer has quickly jumped ahead to grab the top spot away from Bobby Hamilton. Here's a great battle, though, for third. Earnhardt and Wallace were bumping one another, and Schrader in the 33 will sneak on through to join him. And this is for the lead again.
Bobby Hamilton does not like to run second. You can see him looking on the inside of Spencer down the straightaway there trying to get track position. Jimmy Spencer's got a very good car today, but look at that car with Hamilton's able to go below the yellow line in the corner.
Robbie Loomis's crew chief says the setup on that car is markedly different than the setup on anything else, but it's a setup that works for Hamilton, who has a unique line here at the racetrack. And he says, watch me carefully, you may be able to see it, but you've got to have my setup for it to work.
Watch that Earnhardt there in third place. He's right on their back bumper. I know Dale Earnhardt has to be smiling right now. Robert Presley limping around the racetrack. You see smoke coming out of the back of the car.
A tough break for Robert, who was spinning in turn 4 earlier, to bring out the first caution flag of the day. Bobby Hamilton, if you knew, will remind you that he's moving on to the number 4 team next year as Earnhardt now goes for second spot. It's early, but could this be Earnhardt's day?
I don't know why they sold seats in this place today. Everybody's standing as Earnhardt goes into second place, going down into turn 1.
The 3 of us included were standing.
Now this morning, Larry McReynolds, Earnhardt's crew chief, had a big smile on him. That's a bit of a change for that team. A big, broad, beamy smile. They're happy with the race car. Could well be that day. Let's talk to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, guys, I polled the crew chiefs down here. Bobby Hamilton's car obviously was perfect, and that set the stage for the rest of the guys. If he didn't come in, then second, third wasn't going to come in. However, Spencer's car is pretty neutral right now. It gets a great restart. Rusty Wallace's car reporting just a tick loose right now. That's why he didn't challenge Earnhardt too hard when he took that position.
He's driving Ronnie today, Rusty Wallace is. The car that nearly won at Martinsville before the late race black flag.
And will he run his last race? They're going to retire it after this event.
Actually, they had planned to retire it after Martinsville. And then they ran so well, they decided to keep it out of the mothballs for one more race.
Rusty Wallace's boneyard is probably the best boneyard in the world. He has one race car he goes and gets called Midnight every once in a while. They beg him, please don't bring it out. Once they do, it goes and runs very well.
You see the 6 in the middle of your screen. That's Mark Martin. He's buried back in 27th position right now, having started in 14th. Quick lap thus far is this battle you're seeing. 6th and 7th spot. They're going at 124.719 miles an hour for the last lap in that side-by-side battle.
Dale Jarrett is so very good on the bottom part of the racetrack. He went by Bobby Labonte like it was not a problem in the world. He is one of the fastest cars out there. I look for him to run the leaders down and be a factor. You see Jeff Gordon, 2 cars back there, just kind of keeping an eye on things, staying out of harm's way. Dale
Jarrett, I believe we mentioned it Monday at Rockingham, but it bears repeating. Jarrett in the 88s has completed 99.4% of the laps this year. It's remarkable. He has completed 9,132 of the 9,185 laps that have been run. And folks at home, why don't you think it over for a moment? We'll give you the answer later. Who do you think has completed the second largest number of laps this year? Behind Dale Jarrett. Just mull it over. We'll talk about it a little bit longer as our afternoon continues.
Well, I won't look at your notes.
Okay. Yeah, no cheating here.
Well, you're talking about Jarrett finishing laps, Eli. He's also led the most laps this year, and that is the stuff of champions for sure. Finishing laps, leading laps, winning races. They have done everything right this year. There have been no problems with the 88 car. What a great performance in 1997.
Nice sliding move by Rusty Wallace there to get around the 33. Rusty's in 4th. Schrader 5th. Jarrett 6th. Matt Yoakum with everybody else watching this battle.
Well, Eli, we talk a lot about pit stops. You saw Mark Martin come down earlier. All of the contenders stayed out. They are trying to make this race a 3-segment race, hopefully pitting around lap 80. Dale Jarrett reported in the Todd Parrott. His car's a little loose on entry, tight in the center, and loose off. The same for Kenny Schrader. Both teams will be making adjustments, hopefully around lap 80.
We are now at lap number 39 of 312. How's the point standing shaping up? Well, as of this very moment, there you see Mark Martin having backslid in the running order to 27. And you see the points as of this very moment. He's 181 back as Dale Jarrett makes the move there around Schrader and grabs another spot right there. There you see Jeff Gordon back at that string of cars. He's running in 9th position. Let's go to pit road.
Eli, we've been listening to Ray Evernham and Jeff Gordon communicate back and forth. Jeff is reporting that he can't get much done with the car right now, but let's go back up top. There's caution on the racetrack.
And there's Ricky Craven, who tags the wall up in the corner, and caution is on the speedway. Ricky Craven running in 42nd position as it was, and the Budweiser team starting in 43rd back in the wall. Now take a look at what happened seconds ago. Watch Craven and the 22 of Ward Burton here on the backstretch. This is just before the accident. Ba-boom for Ward.
Whoa.
Ba-boom for Craven. Just about had to send him a bill for a camera. But they obviously were having a rough time going over towards the corner.
Well, you can see the right side of Craven's car there. You see the 2 on the door there. You can see the scratch marks. He really rubbed it pretty hard. He probably cut a tire, and that end result is what you see now.
You talk about the ups and downs of racing. Last week, Craven led the most laps at Rockingham, finished 3rd. They brought this car out here and done 2 days of testing to try to get him into the show, and still it didn't work well. You can see Craven there very, very upset with the way things have gone.
You know, the interesting thing, after starting the year with 2 top 5 finishes, he has only 2 other top 5 finishes in the following 28 races. So it really has been a tough kind of a year to explain. All right, there you see him coming down the pit lane. Pit stops for most all of the leaders. The ones who pitted earlier, obviously staying on the track. But the lead group, including Bobby Hamilton, in at lap number 42. Glenn Jarrett.
And he brings the STP Pontiac in, guys. This will be a 4-tire stop. They want to get a good read off of what kind of tire wear, what kind of air pressure buildup that the tires are experiencing right now. So, as I said, it will be a 4-tire. No changes, no adjustments. Here's Matt.
Halfway through this run, Dale Jarrett 4-tire stop, no adjustments. Let's go to Steve Burns.
And Mark Martin came back, and he has to back up in his pits to get out around the 27. They took 2 tires. They want to tighten up. Jeff Gordon also just in. He took 2 tires. As we started to report before the caution came in, he was talking to Ray Evernham. He said, I can't get much done on the racetrack. Ray calming him down, trying to win a championship, saying, just do what you can right now. We'll get the car right.
And certainly they will. As we work under caution, Gordon right now is in 9th. Answering the trivia question, Dale Earnhardt is 2nd in laps completed this year. He's completed 9,059. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Dura-Lube 500K presented by Kmart is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. Our aerial views of Phoenix International Raceway, courtesy of Dura-Shine Advanced Auto Polish. Just hose it on and wipe it off. Dura-Shine, now available at Western Auto, Kmart, Target, and from Manny Moe and Jack, Pep Boys. Opryland is the official destination of NASCAR. Remember, folks, they've got that great country Christmas coming up. Might want to check it out. Call that number you see on the screen or log on to country.com and get all the information about the official destination of NASCAR. Opryland, USA, Nashville, Tennessee. There is the race leader, Jeff Burton. Took over the top spot during the sequencing of pit stops here. The 17th race he has led in 1997, but the first time in 4 races that he has led here at Phoenix International. Let's get an update now from the fellas on the pit lane. Glenn, why don't you go first?
Okay, Eli, we're polling all the guys down here. As we reported, Bobby Hamilton changed 4 tires. Also, 4 tire changes were done on Jimmy Spencer's car, Rusty Wallace's car, and Bobby Labonte's car. A little adjustment made on Rusty to try to tighten him up. And Dale Earnhardt also changed 4, and he may have a little bit of a problem. I think Steve Burns is there. Steve, what's going on?
Well, Glenn, in Dale Earnhardt's pit, we heard Matt Yoakum earlier say, could this be the day for Dale Earnhardt? Right now, he's got big problems. He hit a tire that came off the 18 car of Bobby Labonte during the pit stop. Dale has reported to Larry McReynolds, the crew chief, that the steering is pulling way to the right. They've got a problem with the toe end.
Well, when it rains, it pours, I guess. Though it's still early enough to remedy that, how easy or difficult is it to fix that problem, Buddy Baker?
Well, I can tell you one thing. If I thought it was messed up that bad, I'd be in here under the caution fixing it. You can adjust that. It has adjustments on both sides. So if it's that bad, I would be in here straightening it up, because all you're doing is dragging that tire that's pulling that bad.
Well, we'll find out how that unfolds. We're getting set to go back to green. Jeff Burton, the leader. Sterling Marlin is 2nd. Ricky Rudd 3rd. Chad Little 4th. Johnny Benson, by the way, started 8th. He is still 8th. Was very quick in that final practice here yesterday as the green is in the air. You see Robert Presley, the 77, trying to get a lap back. He is 4 laps down. Ricky Craven's machine cannot be fixed. He's done for the day. He's gone to the Dick Beatty garage area. Where's Bobby Hamilton? He is right there in the middle of the screen in 9th spot. Rusty Wallace in the 2 is 10th. That yellow and purple, Jimmy Spencer, 23. He's running 11th. Dale Jarrett, 12th.
Eli, you can see them putting their hands up inside the car. That's the only way the driver behind you knows that you're putting the brakes on. You put your hand up and move it back and forth. They know you're slowing down. That keeps a lot of people from running over you.
Riding with Rusty Wallace now in 10th. There's how your favorites did. Bobby Hamilton lost 7 positions in the exchange. Look at Schrader going from 6th to 17th. But again, remember that some of the teams that stopped early didn't stop this time around. So those numbers somewhat skewed. Here goes the battle for the lead. Sterling Marlin, the Kodak team. This is definitely a Kodak moment. Only the the 7th time this year he has led a race.
It could be washed out by the Tide car, though. Ricky Rudd is really moving well through the middle part of the corner. You see him right on the back of Sterling Marlin's car. One of the better slick track drivers in NASCAR.
If you're keeping tabs, lap 43 through 49, Jeff Burton is the leader. Lap 50, it is Sterling Marlin. Meanwhile, in the garage, Ricky Craven looking over what remains of the Budweiser Chevy. Let's go that direction.
Well, Ricky's walked out of the infield care center. You're okay, Ricky, but what happened?
Yeah, I'm fine. You know, sometimes it's racing and sometimes it's unnecessary. That was unnecessary, and but I blame nobody but myself. You know, I hadn't done a good job since I landed out here. I need to do a better job. I need to qualify in the top 10, and then you can control your own destiny.
Ricky, what happened? Obviously completely frustrated, Ricky Craven walking back to his truck.
So Ricky Craven, the first and only retiree thus far here in the Dura-Lube 500K.
They have signed a crew chief for that car for next year. It is an experienced Winston Cup crew chief. He announced it shortly.
Look at Chad Little in the 97 there running with Ricky Rudd. He's doing a very good job. That's for 3rd place down the back straightaway. He's not giving up any ground whatsoever.
Of course, Chad Little has not had necessarily the kind of year that he was hoping for. They have not led a NASCAR Winston Cup race this year.
Wait till next year. Wait till next year with Jack Roush behind that team and Chad Little's skill behind the wheel. They've got some good people there, and they are going to have a great year.
Watch that 24 in the outside groove. Jeff Gordon's in 7th now. And Steve, he's one of the few right now making some headway in that outside groove.
Eli, it's fascinating to listen to Ray Evernham talk to Jeff Gordon on that last pit stop during the caution. Remember, Jeff Gordon took just 2 tires. Ray Evernham coaching him, giving him confidence. He says, remember, 2 tires always work good here. Jeff Gordon gave Ray Evernham credit when he won a race at Loudon when they took 2 tires on the last stop. So Gordon Evernham working on Jeff Gordon's confidence.
You wouldn't think he'd have to work on confidence.
You have to remember, Jeff Gordon is not even close to 30 years old yet. So, yes, a good coach is great for him. He's a tremendous driver, but he still needs to be kind of controlled because he has the tendency, like all young people, to maybe overdo sometimes.
That's 3rd place, as you see on the screen, and as you also see across the top of the screen. Napa bringing you NASCAR timing and scoring. Napa Auto Parts. They keep America running. 3rd place, Hamilton and Chad Little.
A pair of Pontiacs. Little will be in a Ford next year. They've got
big problems. Turn 4. Spencer. Jimmy Spencer does the full 360. Everybody else on the binders in a hurry, and caution is on the speedway for the 3rd time, lap 56.
That was Derek Cope in the 36 right at the end of that wreck. They got into the 4th turn wall also. Not much damage to the car, but he did scrub the wall coming off turn 4.
So Jimmy Spencer spins off 4. Dale Earnhardt also is in the middle of all that. Seems to have come through pretty much unscathed. Earnhardt running in 10th.
You got to feel for Spencer. He was so strong at Talladega, nobody would run with him. He wound up back in the pack there. Here he started on the outside pole, involved in this altercation.
Here comes Earnhardt down the pits. I guess they're going to work on the toe end on that car. He's coming down pit road as we speak.
Lap 57 will be the lap for this pit stop for Dale Earnhardt. Spencer and Jeff Green will also come in behind him. Terry Labonte will make a stop. John Andretti will elect to make a stop. Here come some other teams as well, but let's go down and follow the repairs on the pit lane.
We know this for sure, that Dale Earnhardt will take 4 tires on that Goodwrench Chevrolet. It doesn't look as though they're doing anything to adjust the car. Remember, Earnhardt complaining the toe end was off. They're just going to take 4 tires. Let's go now to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, exactly the same thing, Steve, down here at Jimmy Spencer's pits. I don't see any damage to the car, at least not on the left side of the front. There is a big tire mark right between the 2 3s. The 2 and the 3 on the number 23. Spencer's down and away, so no damage. He just lost a lot of track position. Got That's a lot of damage here at Phoenix when you lose that much.
Now you see them working on the front end, right and left of the Earnhardt machine. He did spin in the middle of all that mess too, buddy.
Yeah, and he's got damage to the right front fender there. You can see him pulling it out away from the tire. That could have been some of what he was feeling.
Steve Burns, you've got a much closer look than we. How significant is the problem?
Well, it looks like also on the left front, Eli, buddy. He pulled the sheet metal away from the left front. Sheet metal may have been rubbing on the left front tire.
Let's go back now, fellas, to turn 4 and see what happens as Larry McReynolds and the crew talk it over on the pit lane. Let's figure out exactly what transpired. There's Spencer.
Well, Spencer's spinning round and round. You see everybody else just trying to get through. You see Earnhardt in the middle of everything. Watch Derek Cope come off the corner here, gets wedged in, hits the wall right there.
Now let's watch this here. Earnhardt goes way high. Doesn't spin. You saw Derek Cope just tag the wall. Let's see what we see here from Jeremy Mayfield's look. Hey, you can see Earnhardt take a move right there.
Okay, you see them stringing the car now. They're setting the toe in as we speak. What they're doing, they're running string the length of the right side there, trying to line those wheels up.
Somebody at home has got to say, as technologically advanced as the sport is, you're surprised they still use a string.
Let me tell you, without string and 200-mile-an-hour tape, these cars wouldn't operate.
And there is a new laser system that's coming to this deal, and it's going to be able to line the front ends up to a thousandth or so of accuracy, but it's just not going to help in a situation like that. You can't whip out high-tech tools on pit road, and the ball of string's probably going to be with us for a long time. I hope so.
Steve Burns, I see the powwows continuing.
Eli, we can't hear them, but yeah, they're in heavy conversation. As you said, they checked the toe in. Now it appears that they've checked your strategy. We'll get with Larry to get right back to you.
The lights are coming back on atop the safety car. We are not going green this time. Dale Earnhardt, with the stop, is running back in 40th position now. As caution continues, you'll find out that Earnhardt's running in 39th right now after the long stay on the pit lane. Country.com, your source for all things country. You see Bobby Hamilton, Jeff Burton swapping around there for the spot, and they close in on the number 4 of Sterling Marlin. The number 77 right there, Robert Presley, is many laps down after a spin earlier.
You know, as good as the two guys in the front are running, they've got to be wondering if they've made the right choices about 1998. Both of them are going to other teams, the leader and the guy in second.
Well, and you look at Bobby Hamilton right there. You know he's leaving the Richard Petty team next year. Won last week, pastime this week, and look at this car work. I mean, he's got to be thinking, you know,
what am I doing?
Yeah, I'm leaving with a full wallet.
But he's leaving to take over the guy who's currently leading right now, the number 4 for Morgan McClure Racing. And there you see the lead heating up, and Robert Presley, the 77, who is 4 laps down, trying to just stay out of everybody's way.
Eli, talking about those two guys right there, they are great friends. They travel together. They're switching, you know, getting out of, like he's going over to the 4 car, Bobby Hamilton. These guys are great friends, not only on the racetrack, but off.
If you were with us on Monday, too, and you saw Bobby Hamilton win, as we see this 3-wide battle and some bumping right there, it looked as though Ricky Rudd about was taken out in that exchange.
And he was trying to get out of that mess. Rudd was stuck in the middle. He tried to back out, and tire smoke everywhere.
And this here's for 5th now. Rusty Wallace in the 2, Gordon in the 24.
And Bobby Labonte pits. He was right in the middle of that. He has just pulled on pit road.
He had to. The right rear was dragging pretty hard. You see a lot of metal damage on the 18 car. I just did as he comes down pit road. But look at this battle here. Jeff Gordon going for a national title, racing very, very hard against Rusty Wallace.
Working the high side of Rusty Wallace is the 24 of Gordon. They're in 5th already, Gordon is. Glenn Jarrett has an update as we watch Wallace and Gordon battle.
Well, Eli's buddy pointed out the right rear was dragging because he cut the right rear tire in that altercation. He is down and away, but Bobby Labonte has gone a lap down. That's too bad because he was really happy with the way the car was working prior to that altercation.
He is now in 41st position, Bobby Labonte is. Just joining us, only Ricky Craven out of the event. He was involved in an accident, lap 41, that sent him behind the wall.
As you watch Rusty Wallace, you're watching a guy who figures this racetrack owes him one. In the 10 races here, he has qualified in the top 10 every time. He's led 6 of the 9 races up till today, but he's finished in the lead lap just 3 times. He's broken an oil pump. He's had mismatched tires. He's had a motor failure, alternator failure, tire failure. He's done everything but win the race here at Phoenix.
And now he has a position. He goes, as you can see right now, Rusty Wallace goes right on by to Jeff Gordon. I'm sure that Ray Evernham may have had a little decision there. The crew chief for Jeff Gordon said, listen, you're running very, very well, but don't get into these side-by-side runs this early.
And we are early, only 69 laps in. As you see on the screen, 244 remaining. Tell you, once Bobby Hamilton got clear, he's gotten away. While you watch the battle on your screen, Bobby's pulled away by 1 3/10 seconds. If you're curious about Mark Martin, he's hiding back in 24th. There you see him about 6th or 7th back in this group, the number 6 machine. There he is. And there you see how the point leaders in the battle for the championship are doing today. Lap leaders today are Jimmy Spencer, Bobby Hamilton, Jeff Burton, and Sterling Marlin. And speaking of the battle for the point championship, there's 6th and 7th on your screen. Jeff Gordon, the 24, Dale Jarrett, the 88.
Eli, I'm going to speculate if Dale Jarrett ever gets out of the pits in first place, he's going to look like Bobby Hamilton. That is a very fast race car. Seems to go anywhere he wants it. You see, he just goes by Gordon. Look at Ernie Irvin come up. The 2 Yates cars are on the move.
And there's a good battle there for 4th. Little in the 97, Rusty Wallace in the 2. Still a good battle. 4th and 5th. You got to give Chad Little a call here today. Super run for the John Deere folks.
He can get it done. He really can. He's a fine driver. Remember 1995 when he won all those races in the Busch Grand National Series? He proved right then he can handle a race car, but tried to move into the Winston Cup division and just has not worked out so far, but he's having a great run today. His best of the year so far.
Hey, Glenn, let's see that tire off Bobby Labonte's car. How bad's it looking?
Well, Eli, you can see the paint on the tire, and it scrubbed the letters off the Goodyear tire. But look right here, you can see the paint and the concrete embedded in the rim there. However, the tire is not flat, but it had the fender rubbing on it so bad they had to change it, not take a chance. Let's go to the 88 pit.
Well, Dale Jarrett currently in the midst of a points championship. Today, though, they are also doing some R&D. We talked earlier in the show that Kenny Irwin drove this car twice, and Ernie Irvin put this car on the pole to Brickyard 400. But this is the first time that he's driven, and we've got the 81 car in the wall. Eli?
Kenny Wallace running in 37th continues, and we do not have a caution. No caution on the speedway as the 37th place runner Kenny Wallace continues away. Up front, Bobby Hamilton shows the way by 2 seconds on Sterling Marlin. You want to see what kind of a day it's been for Bobby Labonte and what kind of a day it's been for our camera? What happened to that great shot on the back straightaway? We now have beautiful shots of the sky for you to enjoy from Phoenix. We're coming right back. Average speed down a good bit, and the one retiree is Ricky Craven. Bobby Hamilton is the leader, and there's John Andretti in 36th. He is on the apron in turn 3, certainly has enough speed to coast on around to the sanctity of the pit lane. Tough break right there for the man who won in Daytona in the Pepsi 400 July the 5th. Here's a great second place battle now. Rusty Wallace. He's got it. And that gives you an idea of the speeds. MCI handling all of the NASCAR timing and scoring. Showing you the 127-mile-an-hour laps. We told you before Kenny Wallace had problems in turn 4. Watch the 81 car. Round, halfway around. Watch what happens to Mark Martin now in this mess. The 6 car.
Oh, he gets tagged a little bit by Kyle Petty. He come down and didn't realize he was there, and they made contact. Mark Martin, very lucky he didn't spin there.
He's in 22nd, Mark Martin is. And then you see Jarrett just going by Jeff Burton, the 88, ahead of the 99. So they swap around for 4th and 5th.
Here comes Jeff Gordon in the 24. Look how well that car is working now. They were complaining about the car the first little bit of the race here, but he picked it up a little bit, turned it up a notch. He's in contention here.
Bobby Hamilton leads. Wallace is 2nd. Sterling Marlin is 3rd.
In case you're wondering, they
Looked as though they were pointing at each other. You see that? Jeff Burton kind of pointing at Jeff Gordon. Exchange in position.
Eli, they do that quite a bit. What he was telling him right then was, you're a little bit quicker. He knows he's in a points race here. He'll adjust later, and maybe he'll get it in return there if they get into it later on in the race.
Or maybe they were pointing and saying, hey, remember Darlington? Want to do it again?
I don't think so. In case you're wondering about that number 24 car, Gordon addressed it directly as to whether they had detuned that car, and he said absolutely not. They haven't cut it back at all. All the guys who are in contention to win the championship have done the same basic thing for the race today. They are setting their cars up the same way they have all year long, and that means setting them up to win. Nobody's backing down on anything, including the bunch with a 24.
NASCAR timing and scoring presented by MCI across the top of the screen as Dale Jarrett in the 88 wants 3rd place away from Sterling Marlin. He gets it. Looks as though Sterling is backpedaling just a touch, Matt Yoakum. When do you hear it?
Well, I talked to Robert Larkins of Kuchik. He told me that Sterling said the car is tight, like a lot of other drivers have been complaining. They wanted to pit with a few other cars on that last caution, but track position is key, and they did not want to give it up.
Sterling said yesterday, he once heard that if you drink rattlesnake juice, you'll have good luck. Did you hear him talking about that? And there, of course, there are plenty of rattlesnakes out here. But the only trick is you have to convince somebody to go drink the rattlesnake juice because I ain't going to touch the stuff.
You'll have good luck if you live.
85 laps into the books. 3:12 make up the total distance. Jeremy Mayfield running a strong 8th. You see that across the top of the screen. There you see a good pack of machines. Remember Dick Trickle's run at Rockingham? There he is in the mix again here today. He's running an 18th spot. Bill Elliott, you talked about him on the pre-race, buddy. The 94 is now up to 15th position and challenging Johnny Benson for 14th.
You never have to worry about Bill Elliott. He's very patient. When he has a good car, he don't throw it away. He takes his time going through traffic. Right now, he could do a few things that will probably get him into trouble, but look at this car handle right around the bottom of the track.
Let's follow up on John Andretti. You saw him slowing on the track before. Matt, what's the deal?
Eli, he coasted into his pit silent. The crew opened up the hood, went to work. He had alternator trouble. They fixed him up. He's back out on the racetrack, but obviously he has lost a lot of time to leaders.
And it's cost him 6 laps. 6 laps down for Andretti, running in 42nd. 3 2/10 seconds is the advantage that man enjoys under cloudless skies in the Valley of the Sun.
Professional builders, people who make a living with their tools.
The advantage still over 3 seconds for Bobby Hamilton. The Dura-Lube 500K presented by Kmart. There's the spread of 3 seconds. Back to Rusty Wallace. Then Jarrett. Then Gordon. All the way back towards 8th and 9th, Ernie Irvin. Ernie was running better than that a little while ago, buddy. He's back in 8th now.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened. Handel's gone away on the 28 of Ernie Irvin. The minute I started talking about him, I hope it wasn't because of that, but he's dropping back, and Jeremy Mayfield is now running very well in 37.
And this is 5th place on your screen that Jeff Burton wants. Jeff Burton will make it work. Schrader right there in the 33 as well.
Burton's got the same car he used at Martinsville to win. Good car at a flat track. A lot of the people who are running here today have got the same cars that they run at Loudon or Martinsville. This place is a lot like those 2 racetracks. Not much bank anywhere.
You can see Sterling moving over there, letting Kenny Schrader Schrader come to the outside as they start in the corner, you'll see him roll out and let Schrader go right on by.
Schrader's already won a race here this weekend. Friday, they had a Southwest Tour race, and Scott Hansen won it. Schrader owns the car, so he's the only guy in the field so far as had a win.
Well, I was talking about Jeremy Mayfield. You see him there in the 37 car. Look how good that car is hanging the bottom part of this racetrack. He's accelerating right up through the pack here.
Working off the low side. Mayfield inside of Sterling.
See, the camera's even nervous in that car. It was shaking going down in there.
And as you can see, there's not a cloud in the sky. The temperature continues to rise. What are they saying for track temperature, Glenn? Have you heard any numbers down there?
Yeah, Eli, my camera's showing right now. We've got a temperature gun right now. We're pointing it toward pit road. The temperature on the racetrack should be a little hotter, but right now showing 109, 110. It's hot. I'm going to find some shade. See you later.
Adios. That is a warm day, but that is what the Valley of the Sun prides itself in. We would have given some serious money for this kind of weather last Sunday at Rockingham.
Yeah, but it's a dry heat, you know.
Yeah, right. If you're curious about Dale Earnhardt, he's back there in 18th. There he is in the 3. Remember, he had the problems earlier, lost the toe in, he did the spin. He's just gotten by Spencer. He passed Mark Martin. He's passed Johnny Benson. And he's climbing back towards the front now into 18th spot. There's Dale Earnhardt. If you're just tuning in, one retiree today, Ricky Craven, caught the wall, lap 41, done for the day. We've had 3 cautions. Robert Presley spun off turn 4, lap 23. Then Craven's accident, and then Jimmy Spencer spinning off turn 4, lap number 56. Spencer, Hamilton, Jeff Burton, and Sterling Marlin have been your race leaders today. And here is another move by Earnhardt.
You can see Earnhardt. He's got a big donut on that door now. He's starting to get a little aggressive moving up through the traffic. I tell you what a great drive. He started in, like you said, 42nd, and look where he is running on the racetrack. The back of the car slings out coming off turn 4. He and Bobby are really going at it now. Earnhardt on the move.
Now remember, Bobby Labonte in the 18 is already a couple of laps down in 40th position.
Spencer.
Jimmy Spencer just wrecked. He just didn't hit anything. I tell you what, he lost control going into turn 1 and nearly wiped that car out.
Wow.
Running in 19th is Spencer. But you saw Benson get by him right there, so Jimmy backpedaling to 20th while he catches his breath. Mark Martin now, with whom we're running. He's in 21st. He's kind of been scuffling all day. You don't know how good that car is. He's been caught up in so much traffic all afternoon.
Eli, look at his line in the corner. He's running a very high line. That means the car is not able to stay on the bottom part of the racetrack. I'm sure he's wanting a caution or maybe a green flag stop where they can adjust on the car.
Of course, Mark Martin won here. Won from 3rd starting spot. Today started 14th.
So unusual to see him not running well at Phoenix. This is surely one of his best racetracks. They set up a little looser than most of the other people for turn 1 because he can hang on. He can stand it, and that helps him get through 3 and 4. But today, the setup just is not working as well as it used to.
There's 5th, 6th, and 7th now. 5th, 6th, and 7th. Schrader, Jeff Burton, Jeremy Mayfield. And again, Jeremy Mayfield has his sights set on a top 10 in NASCAR Winston Cup points this year.
I tell you what, he might have his sights set on a win here if he keeps running like he is right now. That car is really getting around this racetrack.
He's only 16 points out of 10th in the season-long standings. But David Green in the 96 sees the TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Dura-Lube 500K presented by Kmart is brought to you by Kmart. Get the Exide NASCAR Select Battery at Kmart. And by Wrangler Cowboy Cut Jeans. We are at lap 108, and by 2.1 seconds, there is your race leader, Bobby Hamilton. Rusty Wallace running 2nd, Dale Jarrett 3rd, Jeff Gordon the point leader in 4th. Running in 5th is Ken Schrader. Further back, Jeremy Mayfield is 6th, Jeff Burton 7th, Steve Clark is now running 8th. Sterling Marlin 9, and Ernie Irvin is running in 10th. There you see the 24, Jeff Gordon running in fourth. Steve Burns.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon was complaining a while back, Eli, about the traffic. The car was pretty good, but he was just having a problem getting around some cars that were too wide. But now that he's got clean air and a clean racetrack, the car's handling just fine, and we hear that they're going to pit around lap 133.
Sterling Marlin, who led from lap 50 through lap 65, now on the pit lane to the attention of the Kodak team.
Bet you that'll be a two-tire change. No,
four.
Look at this.
Going all the way around.
Yep. Tires don't drop off as much here as they do at some of the other tracks. Ran them in the trucks yesterday. They lost about a half a second in 50, 60 laps.
There's Ernie Irvin in the 28th, running in the 10th spot right now. And here comes Bill Elliott in 11th. There, the Golden Arches. Right alongside him, Jeff Bodine in the QBC number 7. He's battling for position in 12th. Let's go back to the pits.
Ernie Irvin is backslid. He was in the top 5, but now he's backslid back to 10th. The problem with Ernie, his car is way too tight. They will try to loosen him up on the next pit stop, which should be around lap 134. His teammate, Dale Jarrett, his car is loose in the center of the corner. He hopes to pit around lap 138 and 140. And also, give a good call to Kenny Irwin Jr. He's giving a great show today. The right front tire changer for Dale Jarrett, Slugger Lab. He's actually the guy who's calling the shots for Kenny Irwin. When DJ gets ready to pit, Slugger comes up and helps pitch the 88 car, and then he goes back and calls the shots for Kenny Irwin.
You know, you're talking about, for the first-time viewers, the car push. For you, let me tell you what that is. That's when you turn the steering wheel left and the front of the car wants to go straight. It will not turn because the right front tire won't get a good grip and is pushing across the racetrack. That's pushing.
And that is something that some drivers, most drivers, aren't real comfortable with. Ricky Rudd is in to get pit service at lap 113 as you ride with second place runner Rusty Wallace. And Glenn, every time he kind of gets close to Bobby Hamilton, like now, he's only 1 7/10 seconds back. When Bobby sees him in the rearview mirror, he seems to pull away again.
Well, that's been the case so far, Eli, but right now, I don't think Bobby's got a whole lot for him. I've been putting the clock on him, and Rusty is consistently about a tenth, at least a tenth of a second a lap quicker than Bobby. And so he has narrowed that gap from over 3.2 seconds down to the current gap that it is right now. And I asked Robin Pemberton if the car was okay. He said right now, Rusty said it's perfect. It is set up for the long run. They're going to pit in about 15 or 20 laps, so he won't get to enjoy much of that advantage very long because Bobby Hamilton's definitely faster on new tires.
And you saw that stat they put up on the screen. 11 DNFs did not finish races, and that's devastating.
And that's for both Wallace brothers. Kenny and Rusty, both with 11 DNFs this year.
We told you Ricky Rudd was in for service. We've seen Steve Park come down pit road. Hutch Strickland has been on the pit lane. There's Rusty still in second. Lake Speed, the 9, and the Burger King colors. Both of those teams have made pit stops. So should you see the 9 and the 14 both go by Rusty Wallace, you'll realize that pit stops have been made.
You see
there.
Hamilton getting sideways.
Bobby Hamilton trying to hang on to the inside of Greg Sachs. Pit stop time. We have had a change for the lead here at Phoenix International Raceway. Lap number 116, Rusty Wallace goes by Bobby Hamilton and takes over by 7/10 of a second. Now, let's take a look at Bobby Hamilton and see exactly what's gone on here. Boys and girls, pick up your pencils and let's draw together.
Okay, you see Bobby Hamilton underneath Greg Sachs. Look at the back end. Get out right there. He's sliding over towards Greg Sachs. They almost made contact there. Let me tell you, when that happens, that foot will hit you right in the mouth. I guarantee you got to get off the throttle and get it back under control.
And during that exchange right there, Rusty blew on by while Bobby Hamilton was wrestling to get the STP Pontiac back under full control.
Rusty has not been able to move away from Hamilton since that, however. He did move away immediately, but as the laps have wound down, the space between them has not changed.
It's now 0.8 of a second, the advantage for Rusty Wallace, Glenn. Any problems for Hamilton other than what we saw up there in the corner?
Not really, Eli. I asked Robbie Loomis. He just pointed to new tires. He says Bobby needs new tires right now. Got a little squirrely when he getting in that corner there, and they just decided to back off, take it easy right now. No point being in any hurry. As I said a while ago, they are by far superior on new tires, so they should be in about the next 10 laps or so.
He's led 3 times today for 91 laps, Bobby Hamilton has, so he has clearly been dominant. We're now at lap 124.
Eli, about this time in a long run, when the tires are giving up, you see Hamilton's car still looks pretty good. I know he's learned not to get right up under a car getting in the corner, because it does mess up the air across the rear spoiler on the car, making it loose. But he learned something there. He won't get himself in that spot again. But right about now, you drive that car, when you get back on the accelerator, you drive it like there's an egg under the accelerator. You jump back in the throttle, it breaks the rear wheels loose, so you ease back in the throttle, use your power where you can.
Rusty Wallace, the leader, trying to move inside of Ted Musgrave, who is running in 23rd. Further back around 15th spot, a big bunch of traffic. There you see Ricky Rudd. There you see Sterling Marlin in the 4. The 6 is Martin. The 5, Terry Labonte. Derek Cope there in the 36 Skittles car. Pit stops for some. Dick Trickle is in. Ernie Irvin is in. Jeff Burton and Ted Musgrave, they will pit at lap 127.
You know, Eli, I want to talk. I know everybody's going on pit road right now, but Dale Earnhardt has come from 42nd to 9th already. He's really on the go. He's got the car very comfortable now. He's got both doors knocked in and one fender pushed back.
Well, I bet he's a little unhappy as well when you start beating her. Oh, here comes Dale Jarrett pitting.
Dale Jarrett and Joe Nemechek both. Jarrett running in the 3rd spot. Nemechek in 25th. Both coming down the pit lane, lap 128. These are all scheduled stops. We have not had a caution since lap 56 with Jimmy Spencer's spin off the corner. Matt Yoakum.
DJ hits his mark. Slugger and Brad Barrett go to work on the right side. They're going to make a wedge adjustment. He says this car is loose in the center of the corner and tied off. Coming around to the left side. Good stop so far. This is going to be a 4-tire pit stop. 22 car apparently is in the wall. Eli?
Indeed, caution as Ward Burton is in the wall in turn number 1. The MBNA Pontiac was running an 18th spot. And all sorts of problems.
Oh, the radiator's knocked out of the car. There's a lot of water running behind the car. I mean, run out of the car, and it made a big streak around. This will take some time to clean up also.
And it really changes some strategies around here, because Dale Jarrett is already pitted under green. We saw Nemechek, Bill Elliott, Chad Little. They were in under green. Trickle, Ernie Irvin, Jeff Burton, Ted Musgrave. They all pitted under green, as did Kenny Irwin Jr.
Eli, I hope he's okay. I tell you what, he hit on a pretty severe angle by the black marks going in the corner there. Looks like the car went straight into the wall, maybe a flat tire on the right front or something, but he hit very, very hard. You can see the black marks there. You can see where it goes in there. It's a pretty straight up. You see the 2 black marks there going in the corner. It goes right up to the wall.
The net still up on the driver's side. Let's take another look.
You see the car right there. He's going straight up, right in the curvature of the corner there. He gets right head on into the wall.
Hard hit.
Pit stops, lap 131. Gordon is in. Rusty Wallace is in. Glenn Jarrett.
And Rusty brings the Miller Lite Ford in, Eli. He's going to have a 4-tire change, as will Bobby Hamilton, who has also come in front of him right there. Wallace's car, as I said, was just about perfect for him. Very good on long runs, so I don't expect they're going to make too many pit stops. The car a little loose early in the race, but he's got 4 tires. He's down and away. Bobby Hamilton is still a little trouble on the left side. They're down and away. Let's go to Steve.
And Jeff Gordon just got 4 tires, Glenn. They're doing a tire pressure adjustment. Now, on the 6 car, they did make an adjustment to the right rear. 4 tires for Mark Martin. Both teams cleaned the front grill to get clean air in, and Mark Martin's gone.
All of these stops at lap 131. Lloyd Burton, you see, out of the car, walking around there near the right front of the MB&A Pontiac. His day is done, but the souvenir guys still sell up a storm.
Michael came onto the scene in IndyCars as a winner. I'm very proud of the fact that he's carrying on the Andretti name. I'll never forget the first really competitive pass that he did on me. We banged wheels a little bit, and he was gone. Adios, Dada.
The Andrettis rely on the same Haviland Formula 3 motor oil you can buy right off the shelf.
That's my boy.
And for your cooling system, get Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze.
To understand our dedication to keeping your car running its best, visit your team of pros at Big A Auto Parts. They'll have you back on the road in no time. Big A, America's parts pros.
There's a certain amount of pride that comes with doing it yourself, and Peerless makes it easy. So go ahead, let everyone know. I installed my own faucet this weekend. I installed a Peerless, the do-it-for-yourself faucet.
We are working caution here at Phoenix International Raceway. A chance for us to bring you Larry McReynolds and today's Tech Fact, brought to you by the more than 1,750 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Since the beginning of the season, through the help of a company called Racers Advantage and Industrial Scientific, we've been monitoring the levels of carbon monoxide that Dale's exposed to during the race. They supplied us with a monitor that's actually used in other industries. An employee will wear this monitor, and if the alarm goes off and his levels of carbon monoxide's too high, he'll actually have to go outside for 30 minutes or so. He can come back in and go to work, but if it goes off a second time, he actually has to go home for the rest of the day. Now, we put this monitor inside the car. Now, obviously, if the alarm goes off, if the levels of carbon monoxide's too high, Dale can't quit and go home, but we can download this information into a computer and read this information, and this will show us how we can make it better, hopefully, for the next event. This is just another way that our race team is looking at other industries, not only for competitive advantages, but also safety.
Beautiful shots high overhead, Phoenix International Raceway with Rusty Wallace, the race leader. The camera you're looking at right now, courtesy of Dura-Shine Advanced Auto Polish. Just hose it on, wipe it off. Dura-Shine, now available at Pep Boys, Western Auto, Kmart, and Target Auto Stores. Hey, folks, coming up, the Winston Cup Racing Wives Auxiliary and TNN getting together for the Hook, Line, and Sinker 3, third renewal of the charity fishing tournament on Saturday, December 13th at the Buccaneer Marina in Palm Beach Shores, Florida. Bobby and Donnie Allison, Hut Strickland, Dick Brooks, Adam Petty, Rick Johnson, Todd Bodine. If you want information, call the number you see on the screen, 717-646-0898. Even our own largemouth bass, Buddy Baker, will be there.
Thanks a lot.
You enjoy that, though. You've become a regular attendee, haven't you?
Hey, it's a big time, and it's for a very worthy cause. We have a great time down there, and you know what? We actually catch a lot of fish.
I know. There you see the pit summary. Field about set to get the 1-to-go signal. Glenn Jarrett, let's get an update.
Well, we checked with Bobby Hamilton's crew, and Robbie Loomis told me they did make an air pressure adjustment that time. The car was getting a little bit too loose to Bobby's liking. The racetrack getting a little bit slicker. They're also considering putting about a quarter spring rubber in the right front to tighten the car up a little bit when he comes back in the next time. Here's Steve.
Hey, Glenn, same thing for Mark Martin. Jimmy Fennig and the crew adding air pressure, 1 pound all the way around on the 6 car. And we just heard Steve Meal tell Mark Martin, be careful of traffic in front of you on the restart. Just prior to the caution, Mark Martin was 15th, and now he's 11th. They think they've got the car where they want it. Let's check in with Matt Yocum.
Kenny Schrader came in, the Skull Bandit crew, tightened his car up with wedge and air pressure. He was running hot, so they also peeled a piece of tape off the grill. The biggest losers on that caution, the two Yates cars of Ernie Irvin and Dale Jarrett. Ernie lost 2 laps. He's now 31st. DJ 1 lap down in 17th. The good news is the 37 car said if DJ can get up close to him, he'll let him go by. He won't try to hold him up because he knows DJ is a much better car at this juncture.
Now, folks, again, only 14 cars on the lead lap. The leader is in the middle of the field. Rusty Wallace, the 2. The cars ahead of him are on the tail end of the lead lap. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars back. The Miller Light Machine. That is your race leader. The guys just ahead of Rusty Wallace are all on the tail end of the lead lap because of how those pit stops fell just prior to the cautions.
And this is heart in your mouth stuff if you're leading the race or if you're in Bobby Hamilton's situation, running right behind him. All these cars in front of him.
What they have to do, they just have to go like there's no tomorrow right now because Rusty Wallace has already proven he's got a great race car. And one little slip right now. You get a lap down to these cars the way they're running right now. And I will mention that Dale Earnhardt has already moved up to 5th now. And he's got that car on the go.
Challenged by Bobby Hamilton. That is for the lead, remember. In the middle of the field, the 2 Rusty Wallace, the 43 Bobby Hamilton.
Got to be careful here.
Well, these guys just in front of Rusty are fighting for their life right now because the caution come out right now. They can go all the way around the racetrack and be on the lead lap. But you can see right now, Rusty's awful good. And look at Hamilton come in there. He's going to be right back up there, and we've already had a little bit of what he can do. Bobby Hamilton, very quick.
They move around Hut Strickland in the 8, who's running 34th, a couple of laps down.
Downside of that is Rusty gets by him, and they are out of the lead lap, and the caution comes out at that point, and they are just playing off the lead lap.
It's all in the timing of how those pit stops fell just prior to Ward Burton's problems.
Jeff Burton looking back at Rusty Wallace closing in on him. Does not look like he can do a whole lot about it as Rusty comes just right up on the left rear quarter panel.
Now this is to put Burton a full lap down. Right now, Jeff is on the tail end of the lead lap.
Robert Presley right in front, the number 77 car.
We're in lap 142 of 312.
Gordon's in 3rd. See him back just behind Strickland in that number 8 car, red number 8.
Yeah, that's Jeff Gordon. Looks like the rainbow on the hood there, the 24. For those that hadn't been around all year watching him dominate racing with 10 wins this year, he's doing a great job right now, leading in the national point standing. Needs to close it out today so he don't have to go to Atlanta worried about the national championship.
Very much like Jack Sprague basically has done on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, needing only to start next Sunday in Las Vegas, and the championship would be his.
3 top point contenders got together with the media yesterday in the infield, and we're talking about championship years and career years and that kind of thing, and certainly Jarrett has had one of those kinds of years. So has Martin. They got around to talking to Jeff Gordon about it, and he said, well, 10 wins is really nice. We've got a great team and everything's perfect, but if I don't win the championship, it's not a career year.
Now let's bring another guy into the picture here. Let's pan back to the number 17. There's old DW going through your screen. Darrell is now running 7th. Darrell Waltrip is running 7th here at lap 145.
He did the broadcast with me yesterday for the truck race, and I tell you what he told me. It was kind of strange. He said, I might just be right below you in the press center tomorrow after this race is over. He thinks he has a chance.
Now, this is while we hear more about that, let's watch also this battle for second place.
He runs so well here, Darrell Waltrip. Does 7 top 10s and 9 starts here. He's been as high as 2nd.
Look at this. Jeff Gordon moving in, and Earnhardt just on the back bumper of both of them as they come off the corner there. Eli, it looks like Dale Earnhardt may have a quicker car.
We've also got Schrader right there in the 33 right behind. You're right, Earnhardt looking, if last lap means anything, he was a half mile an hour quicker, Earnhardt was, though in traffic perfect. The numbers aren't always reliable.
Jeff Gordon goes right by Bobby Hamilton. That's the first time we've got to look at that.
They'll give second spot to Gordon. Hamilton third. As far as the points now, as this race is running, there you see the spread. Martin is 168 behind Gordon. Jarrett now 200 down. And Glenn, of course, Bobby Hamilton still hanging tough.
Well, he is, Eli, but he's, as I reported a while ago, the car was getting a little loose. They made an adjustment. It wasn't enough. Bobby says the car is already loose, and it's just run about 10 laps on this set of tires. So they're a little concerned down here. They need to make a further adjustment. We'll probably see that spring rubber go in the right front. So just a little too loose for his liking right now.
Hey, folks, did you see Earnhardt slide there a minute ago?
Yeah, don't adjust your set. That was the 3 car going sideways right towards the wall. I'll tell you what, he's driving the wheels off of it. Look how much distance he lost on that one little slide. He's got the tires hot right now, and you can see Kenny Schrader trying the outside to get by him.
Of course, Earnhardt so close, but not since March 10th of 96 has Earnhardt won. Let's go down to the infield care center quickly. Ward Burton has just come out after that grinding crash he had back on lap 131.
Ward has walked out. He's okay. Ward, what happened?
I'm not really sure. We were running poorly anyways. Back there, 40 car got up under me and going down the straightaway. He kind of grabbed me in the wall, and I kind of pushed back, and I did. Got something on the left front hung on to his right front, and I couldn't get off. Tried to drug back and lost control. I don't know whether the tires actually hit and cut a tire down or something that bumpers caused it. We'll get a little bit better. We're going to go test Atlanta. We'll be good down there.
Disappointing early exit for Burton.
So he and Ricky Craven, the only retirees here today. Good battle for second spot you're watching right there. They are 1 second behind Rusty Wallace. Jeff Gordon in the 24. Hamilton the 43. Earnhardt in the 3.
And you won't see them pushing and shoving this early in the race, not at 123 miles an hour.
You know, this dawned on me, too, with Dale Jarrett having posted right now a 16th place, and he's a couple of 100 points behind Gordon. If he doesn't scramble to the front, he'd be done for a chance of the championship going to Atlanta. Have to be within about 185 points. But we're still have plenty of racing here, but that was just something that popped in after we saw that point breakdown seconds ago. Darrell still right there in 7th.
Yeah, you see the KGO guy there. He's using a lot of racetrack. He's running all over the racetrack. It's one thing, this guy broke into racing, you know, on short tracks, and he's raced all over the world, so he knows how to find the groove that'll make it quicker. He and Jimmy Spencer right now are flying around the racetrack. DW looks good.
Waltrip brothers are together there. Darrell in the 17. And Michael in the 21 for the Wood brothers, carrying the colors of the old Purolator Mercury. Remember when David Pearson drove the car? That was painted like that, number 21.
And that's the exact same color that David Pearson had on the car in that incredible 1976 Daytona 500 when he won.
I know you're not asking me, Eli. I followed that thing enough. I knew exactly what color everything was on it.
Hey, a lot of guys did it. David posted 105 career victories. And Matt Yoakum, how about that run for Darrell Waltrip?
Old DW's having a great run. He says the car is perfect. We don't need to change a thing. They only got 4 tires and gas in the last stop. He's picked up 13 positions for the past 30 laps. This is their oldest car in the stable, built back in '94. And Jeff Hammond told me, we hope this track just gets big-time slick, because there's nobody better here at Phoenix on a slick track than Darrell Waltrip.
Meanwhile, we are closing in on halfway here at Phoenix International Raceway. The crossed flags are out for that man, Rusty Wallace. He leaves halfway home here in Phoenix. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Dura-Lube 500K presented by Kmart is brought to you by the UAW International Union and General Motors Corporation. Assembly line to finish line, teamwork wins. And by the more than 1,750 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. So Some breathtaking shots of the area around Phoenix International Raceway. Now the mid-race report brought to you by Wrangler, the Western original. You see 21 teams still on the lead lap, the last car being the 99 of Jeff Burton. 4 cautions, the 2 retirees, Ward Burton and Ricky Craven. I'm Eli Gold with Dick Berggren and Buddy Baker. Glenn Jarrett, Matt Yoakum, Steve Burns on the pit lane. We have had a grand total of those 4 caution periods with only 2 retirees. Jimmy Spencer has led today, Bobby Hamilton, Jeff Burton, Sterling Marlin, and now Rusty Wallace. How about that? Rusty was leading at halfway.
Eli, the people wearing the black hats are beginning to get a little antsy up here in the grandstand. Earnhardt all the way up to 3rd now.
As we have just passed the halfway point, so he's got a half a race yet to try and get back to victory lane for the first time since March the 10th of '96. You realize if Dale wins today, or if he wins in the season-ending race in Atlanta, it would be his 16th consecutive season with at least 1 victory in his career. Good battle right here. Hamilton is in 4th. Schrader, the 33, is in 5th. The 8 is a couple of laps down, but the 7, the QVC colors for Jeff Bodine, he's running 6th.
Whatever adjustment they did on the 43 car on the last pit stop, they need to undo. That car is not up like it was when he was leading earlier in the race. He's hanging on right now. I've watched the car several times just take off across the racetrack.
But I'll tell you who is running well is Jeff Bodine in that number 7 car. That is a rejuvenated team. They brought Tim Brewer on. Brewer got rid of a lot of Bodine's friends, brought his own friends in, and at least so far, it does seem to be working. Bodine with a good run today in the black number 7.
Here at lap 165. There goes that 3rd, 4th, 5th place scramble right past our cameras. Again, the 8 car, Hut Strickland, not in the mix. He's a couple of laps back in 34th.
But everybody who's gotten by him has had quite a struggle to do that. I tell you, Strickland may be down a couple of laps, but that car is fast and he's driving it well.
1 2/10 seconds, the advantage up front for Wallace over Gordon, but we'll stay with this battle here for the moment. There you see that dog leg on the back straightaway. It is not indeed a straightaway, but a back stretch, I guess, would be the better terminology.
It's almost like a road course. You just cut across there. There's several places on every road course where you just say, there's something there. I run across the apron right there and jump out towards the wall. That's what that dog leg is over there.
Did you run here in the old Winston West races when a lot of the fellows used to come here after the Riverside race?
I've been out here many times. I feel like I've run here, but I got hurt just about the time they started really getting out here. And the year that they started racing over here, I was talking to Dr. Petty in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yes.
I know Cale Yarborough's won here, the late Neil Bonnet, Richard Petty, Bobby Allison, all in NASCAR Winston West Series racing. That dates back to 1977. There is Dale Jarrett. He's running in 16th position right now. We told you he was one of those who kind of got caught up in that pit stop exchange, pitting at lap 128, just 3 laps before the caution. But Glenn, your brother on the stopwatch consistently now, still the fastest car on the racetrack, but he's, what, 15 and a half, nearly 16 seconds back.
Well, he is, Eli, but I have been clocking he and Rusty Wallace for the past several laps, and Dale is consistently about a quarter of a second faster than any of the lead cars right now. He's the only car that we're getting on the watch still in the 28-second bracket. So he has gotten himself almost where he's only a half a lap behind. That's pretty good considering he was just right in front of him when the green came out.
You're right. He is running 124 miles an hour and change versus 122.3 for everybody else. So he is consistently quicker. There's second spot tightening up now. There's Mr. Earnhardt closing in on Gordon.
Yeah, the hats are starting to fly a little bit. Here comes Earnhardt. He's closing in on Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. And every lap, Earnhardt does something different. He'll run the bottom one lap, the top part of the racetrack. He's adjusting his driving style, but that car is hooked up very well right now.
Fans will be busting the decibel meters on this one as they either cheer or boo for their favorite. These two people rock the grandstands no matter where they run, and no one is neutral about either of them.
Let's take you back. There's Rusty Wallace in the 2. 1 second back is that's all the distance you've got to make up now for Gordon and Earnhardt. Then it's a couple of seconds back further to Bobby Hamilton, who is running 4th, Schrader 5th, Jeff Bodine in 6th, Darrell Waltrip 7th, and so on. And you see across the top of the screen who's where and their lap speeds. Trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap, Jeff Burton. Welcome back to Phoenix. We're live on TNN Motorsports. Dale Earnhardt has just grabbed second place away from Jeff Gordon seconds ago. They battled side by side for about 3/4 of a mile, and then Earnhardt just beat him off the corner to take second spot behind Rusty Wallace, and they're only 7/10 of a second behind Rusty. You saw him there just ahead, and they're closing in.
Eli, Rusty Wallace right now is fighting a battle. He's trying to get by Jeff Burton, who is just about a lap down, and they're fighting to stay in the lead lap. He's doing everything he can to get by. While he's doing that, Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon are closing in.
And remember this, too, that Earnhardt is only 11 points behind Terry Labonte, battling for 5th in the season standings. That's a lot of money on the line there. Labonte right now is running 10th. Earnhardt is 2nd.
Let me tell you, you can buy something pretty big if you're at that head table. Those first 10 spots are very important.
And here comes Earnhardt on the bottom.
Oh, and sideways off turn 4.
He wants to win desperately. 57 races without a win. No victories, 1997. Earnhardt, another strong run in second, closing on Rusty.
What you want to bet, it won't take him forever to get by him when he gets up there. The action will pick up when Earnhardt gets in this pack of cars that are just about to go a lap down.
Well, they've closed in no time at all. Earnhardt right on Rusty's bumper now. Look at the fans coming up.
All rise. It's as though a judge had walked into the courtroom. In unison, they stand. Now, Jeff Burton in the 99, he is trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap. He's in 21st spot there. He's not holding anybody up, but he's in a tight spot himself.
And Jeff Gordon sitting there, he just wants to see what's going to happen next. I think he's riding along with a good cushion on the lead and the points and all, but he don't want to lose sight of this action that's fixing to happen too, because he knows that Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt have put on some great races in the past.
Burton's 4th in the points. I mean, he doesn't want to lose this lead lap position. There's a lot at stake for him as well.
Napa Auto Parts bringing you NASCAR timing and scoring across the top of the screen. Here goes Wallace to put Jeff Burton down in 21st.
He's trying desperately. Burton fighting back on the inside. They make a little contact there coming off turn 4. Earnhardt's just sitting there trying to figure out where he's going to go.
Rusty tried him for all those laps, couldn't get by. When Earnhardt got on the back bumper, that just put on all the pressure. He absolutely had to get by because Earnhardt was going to get him if he didn't.
Hope you folks are enjoying this as much as we are. This is a dandy. And those 130 laps are going to fly right by. This is a quick race here at Phoenix.
Here comes Earnhardt.
He's side by side with Burton down the front straightaway, down into one. Earnhardt drives very deep. Look at Burton go in the Eli. He's not able to hold the car down. Earnhardt's earning everything he's doing right now.
Earnhardt just trying to get by race traffic here. The battle with the 99 Burton is not for position. Jeff Burton is a lap down. Earnhardt trying to dispose of traffic and keep Jeff Gordon to the 24 behind him. Larry McReynolds and the crew looking on at their TV monitors on the pit box. They are monitoring our telecast on one of those small DSS dishes. They watch TNN when they're at the racetrack to keep abreast of the action.
Just in a couple of laps, as soon as Rusty Wallace got by Burton, you look at the advantage he got. He got about 10 car length advantage just by getting by Burton that quick. You can see him up there going away. Earnhardt needs to make a move, but he used his tires up sliding, trying to get on the bottom side.
Earnhardt's not as strong now as he was a few laps ago. Look, he's dropping back from the 99 now.
Well, what you have to do there is cool the tires. Once you cross it up like that, it just sends about another 50 degrees of heat into the tires, so you have to kind of back off a little bit, let them cool back down, and go again.
Glenn Jarrett is watching on that TV monitor with Larry McReynolds. Reynolds down in turn 1.
Yeah, Eli, and Larry just now switched it to the field rundown that's giving the timing on the cars. Larry, we see you watching the telecast, but it looks like you guys have overcome your earlier problems. Toe end seems to be okay now.
Well, the toe out's still not the way out, but we're not going to give up track position to big sets. You know, like I told him on the last caution, we come from the rear one time, you ain't going to do it twice here. But I just got to say thank the good Lord for people like Mike and Jackie Law from these low snout cars and Bob Riley that's helped this team so much.
I guess you're due to pit around lap 220, 225, is that right?
Yeah, we're going to try to make it where we can do it on one more stop around lap 223.
Okay, that's the story from here. They like it right now, but wow, it's still not right.
And meanwhile, Jeff Bodine has also made a move. He's grabbed 5th place away from Bobby Hamilton. We are live in Phoenix. We are back with you here at Phoenix International Raceway. Rusty Wallace, everybody kind of skating through turn number 4 right there. Wallace, Kenny Irwin Jr., Jeff Burton, Dale Earnhardt, they all kind of tippy-toed through the corner.
Earnhardt got the tires cooled down. He's making a run again underneath. As they start down the back straightaway, Jeff Burton's car is very, very good in a straight line, but Earnhardt is really fighting that car, trying to get up there to Rusty Wallace.
Kenny Irwin in the 27 car. He's won midget races, Silver Crown here. Never won in a stock car. Earnhardt on the bottom of him.
Irwin is in 21st position now, 21st, a lap down. Dale Jarrett, folks, is still the quickest man on the racetrack. He's 10 seconds back now, although as you watch this battle unfold, we'll tell you that though Jarrett is running well, he is beginning to start skating around the track some also. His tires starting to give up just a tick on the 88. Is that what you're hearing, Matt?
You're exactly right, Eli. Dale Jarrett's driving like a man on a mission. He's already made it up to 11th. His car is a little loose in the center of the corner off. They would like to pit and tighten him up, but if they did so, they wouldn't be able to make it to the finish on one more stop. So they're going to stretch it to about lap 220, and that should be their last stop. They will take them to the finish.
And all those guys there battling for position. Darrell Waltrip, Johnny Benson, Dale Jarrett, Jimmy Spencer, Michael Waltrip. Terry Labonte next in line in the number 5. They're battling for position from 8th on back. By the way, Mark Martin now running in 7th. Haven't talked of him lately. He's still 5.5 seconds back. It's not bad for Mark Martin, 5.5 seconds back in light of how much traffic he's had to deal with today.
Eli, remember on the last round of pit stops on about lap 130, Martin came in 15th, went out 11th, and he's now 7th. But just as Matt Yoka mentioned a moment ago, the 6th car of Mark Martin and the 24 of Jeff Gordon are reporting that they're loose, and they will also pit around lap 220.
There goes Jeff Bodine around Jeff Gordon. And that is all on the lead lap. Schrader, Bodine, Gordon. Did the 24 kind of slow down or check up there, buddy? It was tough to tell.
He was in lap traffic on the back straightaway over there, got pitched down into the grass and had to jam the brakes on. He come very close to being into an altercation there that may have put him out of the race. He has to be careful. I mean, there's several cars there that are running good, and he just got in the middle of it and almost got wiped out.
You think about the bullets that guy has dodged in the last couple of weeks. Now, last week at Rockingham, bounced it off the wall, had the problem with the rear end, got away with both. The week before the Talladega incident, got away with that. Let's watch what happened to him right here.
Now, you watch Jeff Gordon. He had to really check up there. You see Schrader going by into 33. That could have been ugly there if he'd have stayed on the problem.
I wonder if the two Jeffs might have touched there. I couldn't tell from that angle. I don't know if Gordon and Burton might have touched.
He had to lock the brakes up for sure.
Something happened.
I watched the smoke come out. From here, I could see it when they were racing there. You see Jeff has a good car, but he does not need to get in the altercation.
Glenn, what are you hearing down the pit road?
Well, we listened to his and Ray Evernham's radio conversation, Eli, and Jeff radioed in a couple laps ago that the 99 almost crashed him, so he is getting a little antsy about that right now. Jeff Burton, to his defense, running awfully hard, though. He tried for a long time to stay on that lead lap, but Jeff Gordon not exactly happy right now. He wants to get clear of any traffic, just like Buddy says, stay away from everybody.
There is the race leader by 1 1/10 seconds. Rusty Wallace, who has run well here but never won. Welcome back, everybody, at Phoenix. Rusty Wallace in the number 2 machine, continuing to lead. He has led the last 87 laps of this Dura-Lube 500K presented by Kmart. Kenny Schrader right there working in 3rd. Jeff Bodine in the number 7 right there, battling in 4th position. Schrader doing okay, Matt?
I talked to Andy Petrie. He told me they think the rub has gone away. Their spotter is Andy Hillenberg, the ARCA driver. He looked at the car the next couple laps by when it first started smoking. He said it didn't think it was that bad. The tire has worn away. They believe it came from some contact with the 7 car, but they're not 100% positive. But that's where they think the rub started. But it appears to be okay now.
So we'll keep an eye on that. Now wait for the 88 car coming into the picture. Right there, you see Dale Jarrett continuing to run well. He is now only 7 7/10 seconds behind Rusty Wallace after being a lap, almost a full lap down, not all that long ago.
Yeah, he's basically picked up the majority of a lap by putting himself in this position.
Yeah, I was just fixing to brag on Mark Martin, how well he's running, and Dale Jarrett has absolutely mowed him down. You can see right there, just inches away from the 6 car, Mark Martin looking to the inside now down the back straightaway. He is flying.
And if you want to see the Winston Cup points, there it is. 24 is leading, 6 is in 2nd, 88 is 3rd. There they are, all in a little tight group.
And if you want to see your favorite, just keep your eye on top of the screen. MCI bringing you NASCAR timing and scoring. Steve Burns down to the Jeff Gordon. Petty's running 5th.
And we just saw Ray Evernham get real animated, Eli. He usually sits atop the war wagon here on pit road talking to Jeff Gordon. He just leaped off of it, ran down to the 27 pits of Kenny Irwin and looked at Doug Yates and held his palms up as if to say, get out of the way. Finally, they told Irwin to back off, and Gordon was able to get by him.
Irwin running a couple of laps down in the 19th position. There you see the points.
He's got more trouble than Kenny Irwin Jr., believe me. Look at Dale Jarrett mowing up there on the left side. He's drawing right up on him. Look at that car go down the straightaway. Robert Yates, you've done your homework.
And they're handling so well. You know, we talked about the power. You've got to be able to handle on a warm day on a flat, slick racetrack.
Yeah, he and Todd Parrott have just absolutely made a great team. Todd Parrott, very young. He got with Dale Jarrett, and people said, you know, I'm not sure Todd's smart enough and into the game enough, and they found out in a hurry he's championship quality.
They're both championship quality. What a great team they've made. Jarrett's got 14 career wins, 10 in the last 2 seasons with Todd Parrott. And the rest of those guys have stuck with him all the way through. Been virtually no changes on that team.
And all 3 of those point guys doing what they have to do. Got to run the top 5, 7, 10 positions. They are all together. And that benefits the point leader, Jeff Gordon. Pit stops. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Dura-Lube 500K presented by Kmart is being brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. And by Peerless Faucet, the do-it-for-yourself faucet. Downtown Phoenix, Arizona. There is your race leader, Rusty Wallace. Remember in 1992, he had Midnight Rider up by a half lap, then an electrical problem. They had a good car here last year. Then the oil pump went out at lap 151. They aren't taking anything for granted, but they have 2.5 seconds on that man, Dale Earnhardt, who's running in 2nd.
Makes Roger Penske look pretty smart, too. He made the phone call and said, let's take the Martinsville car to Phoenix.
There's 3rd place. Dale Jarrett. He got by Jeff Bodine during the commercial break. Has dispensed with Mayfield and Steve Park there. Well, Park gets back around him, having made a stop.
He gets a good set of tires on the next pit stop. Jarrett could easily contend to win this thing.
DJ's coming in the pit.
Here he comes to make a stop. Lap 218 is when he'll stop. Dale Jarrett, 3rd place. Now he's hoping and praying that A, he gets a good bit of service, and B, that the caution doesn't come out, as did to him earlier in the day. Ernie Irvan is on pit road as well. Matt Yoakum.
DJ has already hit his marks. This will be a 4-tire pit stop for Dale Jarrett. He says, don't make any changes. The car is perfect. Just get us a good stop, no mistakes, patience, but let's get a fast stop. And these guys are really going at it. Good work on the left front by Slugger Labby, and he's down and away.
Now, Matt Yoakum, even though these tires don't grow as the bias ply tires used to, how close do these tire specialists have to keep an eye on those tires, especially in 90-degree heat like we're having here today?
Well, talking to Brad Parrott, he says they've been looking at their tires. They have not really had to make that many adjustments, but like bias ply, as the track temperature goes up and down over the course of a weekend, they have to keep an eye on the temperature, and a lot of times they will start out with lower temperature, so as the heat builds in the tires, the temperature will grow to the temperature that they really want to have in the tires for the handling of the car.
Lap 219, Bill Elliott is in. Brett Bodine is in for service. Mark Martin right there. He's running in 7th spot. The 4 of Sterling Marlin back in 31st. Jeff Gordon now on the pit lane. Chad Little has come in as well. The Rainbow Warriors waiting.
55 miles an hour in pit road there. Looks like they're crawling down through there.
Rick Mast is in also. Let's go to Steve Burns.
And Jeff Gordon, just prior to this pit stop, complaining to Ray Evernham that he's loose off of 4. So they'll try and make an adjustment there to get him better. This is going to be a 4-tire change for the Rainbow Warriors. You see the clock working for them. This is one of the best pit crews in the business. Going to the left side of Jeff Gordon's car, including the windshield for him. And he's down 19.1 seconds for Jeff Gordon.
On the racetrack, Bobby Hamilton and Kenny Schrader, the 43 and the 33, they are battling for 4th. And here comes the race leader onto the pit lane. Rusty Wallace will hand the lead back to second man in line, Dale Earnhardt. Slowly, Wallace, he must feel like he's going at a snail's pace. All the way down around the turn. He's pitting near the exit of turn 1 and 2. Let's head there.
And he brings the Miller Lite Ford in. This is one of the best pit crews in the business, guys. And so we got the clock on them right now to see how they can do under the gun. It will be a 4-tire change. Wow, right side already done. And down, Earl Barb on the jackman, brings it around. They got the left side tires already off. This is going to be a great pit stop under the gun. Ooh, a little trouble in the right rear, but still a great pit stop, just over 19 seconds.
So let's update you. Rusty Wallace led from 117 to 221. Dale Earnhardt leads lap 222 and 223. And now Jeff Bodine takes over the lead at lap 224. Back to the Earnhardt pit now.
I mean, only 2 spots down from Rusty Wallace is Dale Earnhardt. Also, Bobby Labonte came in. Earnhart's crew has already got the right sides done. They're around to the left now. Bobby Labonte is down and away. Obviously, a 4-tire change with Earnhardt. He is down and out. Let's go to, that's 19.7 for Earnhardt. Here's Steve Burns.
Glenn Martin, right side tires already on. Left side tires on quickly. They did make a chassis adjustment to the right rear of the 6 car.
Now take a look as Martin leaves the pit lane. Let's go back a moment to watch Earnhardt try and come down pit road. Watch this, buddy.
That's Ricky Rudd in the 10 there. He had to avoid him. You see him coming on the outside there. They both come down. They have to get down to 55 miles an hour by that white line right there. So, boy, that was very close. He almost missed the opening.
Now as Jeff Bodine pits, Johnny Benson becomes the leader at lap 226. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Most teams can go to the distance from this juncture on. This will be a 4-tire pit stop for Jeff Bodine. He said his car was a little loose. They're going to tighten him up with some minor air pressure adjustments. The crew going to work on the left side. Good stop for the QVC Ford.
So the clock continues to roll. 22.2 seconds. Deuces are wild there for Jeff Bodine. There's the leader, the 30, Johnny Benson. He's leading the 7th different, the sun-drenched Phoenix International Raceway. Just wipe it out and hose it off. Dura-Shine available at Pep Boys, Target Auto Stores, Kmart, and wherever you might be. NASCAR Online is keeping you informed of the doings here at the Valley of the Sun. All the up-to-the-moment scoring and all the news of what's been a busy news weekend. Just get your computer out, dial it up to www.nascar.com. NASCAR Online is your 24-hour NASCAR Garage Pass. Welcome back. Eli Gold, Buddy Baker, Dick Berggren, Glenn Jarrett, Matt Yoakum, Steve Burns. We're all on hand here at Phoenix International. Rusty Wallace is the race leader. Not hurt at all by that pit stop performance. 19 seconds, Glenn. That'll do you.
Oh, it's a great pit stop, but there was a little bit of concern about whether they got it completely full of gas so he could go the rest of the way. I asked Robin Pemberton, the crew chief, if they indeed were good to go. He said, oh, man, there's no worry about us running out of gas. He said it won't run out until about halfway around after they take the checkered flag.
Got it figured out to the nth degree. Let's go to Steve Burns now.
And checking with some of the other teams on fuel mileage, the 88, they say they can make it. The 6 of Mark Martin, they think they can too. And likewise for Jeff Gordon.
All of those stops coming in lap 219 of 312. So using past performance, they should be well within that window.
Boy, I mean, Dale Jarrett, look at this car go. He's pulled right up. He's the second car there behind Russell Wallace as he comes through the corner there. You can see Dale Jarrett's car very, very quick right now. We're going to be talking about a battle for the lead before too long.
We are, and there are the numbers if you're just joining us. There's what's taken place today. Our most recent caution in lap 131. We're now at 235. There's Jeff Bodine. He's running in 8th, and you realize that earlier this year, first half of the season, he was 32nd in points. If you take only from the start of the second half of the season to where we are now, he'd be 12th in points because of Tim Brewer and a lot of other reasons why. Let's go down to the Jeff Bodine pit.
Well, they've been working on this car all day long, Eli. Tim, if you can get up to Rusty Wallace, do you have anything for him?
I tell you what, Rusty, he's pretty tough today, but you know, though QVC Ford is kind of trucked along pretty good. But that old guy laying back there in that 43 car, don't forget him yet.
Well, Jeff Bodine is on pace for a record run here at Phoenix.
Tim Brewer is one of the smartest guys you will meet in the pit area, and when he says, don't count out that 43, let us pay close attention to what he has to say. Meanwhile, look at this for the lead.
I have some other numbers that I can throw in that dogfight if you want to throw them in there. And right there is one of them. The 88 is moving in on Rusty Wallace every lap.
Right at this second, Jarrett and Martin are tied in points. Jeff Burton and then Dale Earnhardt, who has made the move to grab 5th. That is as of this moment with a race and a half remaining in the 1997 season. Next weekend is an off week, then on to Atlanta for the season finale.
And as well as DW was running earlier, that's Darrell Waltrip right in front of the leader, Rusty Wallace. Potentially going to go a lap down.
Eli, this is what we were just talking about just a couple of laps ago. You're in Rusty Wallace's back bumper cam there, going down in the corner. You can see the DJ, Dale Jarrett, has closed in. It's less than a car length. Here he comes on the inside.
This is for the lead, basically making up a lap all day today. Powerful, to say the least, given to Jarrett. It is the first lap led today by one of the 3 men battling for the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. Not Mark Martin, not Jeff Gordon. Finally now, Dale Jarrett leads a lap at 240.
That is very big. Those 5 points are very big. He's only trailing Mark Martin by 20 points, now 15.
They work back off into the corner. Only 2 1/10 back is Dale Earnhardt. We've not forgotten about him. But how are the front 3 running? From Earnhardt in 3rd, it is 6 seconds back to Bobby Hamilton in 4th. So if Tim Brewer's prediction is to become fact, Richard Petty's bunch is going to have to turn things up just a bit.
How smooth Dale Jarrett is running, just right by on the outside. Nice and smooth, no bobble, no twist, no jump around in the race car. It just looks nice and clean.
You know what this reminds you of? Bill Elliott in 85 making up 2 laps under green at Talladega.
I got to watch that.
Yeah.
He passed me to take the lead.
Steve Park goes to the garage as we continue under green.
If it's good enough to go on our hood, imagine
Michael Waltrip. There's Jeff Gordon. He's running in 5th. Is everything okay with him, Steve Burns?
Yeah, Jeff Gordon is reporting a vibration. Some of the crewmen up on the wall, I don't know if they're going to pit yet, but he is reporting a very bad vibration in the right front.
He is all of a sudden, although still in 5th, he is now 12 seconds behind Dale Jarrett.
And vibrations usually don't go away without stopping in the pits to fix them.
And as you can see, bad news is right on his back bumper there. That's Mark Martin closing in there. These two guys are going in for the national point standings, and you can see Martin on the go. Jeff Gordon with trouble.
The noise you hear in the background of the phones beginning to ring at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Folks anticipating maybe this championship will go down to the season finale.
Well, that's what it's really going to take there. It's going to be hard to beat him on positions, but if Gordon has got some sort of a problem today, that could well push him to Atlanta.
This is for 5th. Mark Martin in the 6th. As the crew beneath the Goodyear Bridge into turn 4 and give him the position. So Mark Martin to 5th. Here comes Schrader. He's still running well. He could certainly bypass Jeff Gordon here and tries him on the outside with the power move.
Eli, when you're having problems like that, it seems like they line up to pick on you. I've had that happen to my car before. You have a vibration, you're trying to figure out what it is, and everybody starts going by.
What could it be? Let's talk about it again. What might have started to vibrate under a situation like this?
Well, it could be a series of things. It could be a front wheel bearing. It could be so many things happening to the car, and it could feel like the right front actually be the left front. So he has to diagnose this thing and see what it is.
And it could also be as simple as a tire that's out of balance as a result of the relationship between the inner liner and the rest of the tire.
Let us stop guessing and go to the pits. Steve Burns, what are they telling you?
Yeah, we're listening to him communicate. And Jeff is saying it vibrates when I'm turning into the corners, and it's pushing real bad. Ray responded by saying it might be the center link rubbing. And again, they're trying to stay in very close contact to let him know what the symptoms are. So hopefully the doctor can fix it.
Well, let's just hope it's not a blistered tire. That sounds like a blistered tire or a right front going flat. They'll do that. And when it starts rolling under, it'll vibrate like that. Hopefully he does not have a tire going flat.
The 7 right behind, that's Jeff Bodine, who we told you was leading earlier. And he's right back in the hunt, Matt.
Currently he's in 8th, Eli. They were a little concerned about the alternator on the 7 car because it was pulling so much, because they got so many fans and blowers going in this car because you use so much brake here. It's a lot like Martinsville. You use a lot of short track brake systems here. And they're a little concerned about it, but at this junction, they don't think there should be any problem to the finish.
And you saw a quick look on the screen at the attrition list, those whose day is done. See, Bodine's gotten by Jeff Burton, the 99. He is not on the lead lap. He's in 19th.
Just remember, the magic number is 13. Gordon may be dropping back, but if he can hang on until maybe a caution, or he may even have to come in, but 13 is the magic number. He needs to go on to Atlanta.
Right, he could have finished 13th today and 13th at Atlanta, and regardless of what Mark Martin or Dale Jarrett did, the championship would be Jeff Gordon's.
Zeke right now.
But again, a number of lap teams now beginning to bypass him. Next up, that blue car, that's Brett Bodine. He's in 31st, a couple of laps down. So this isn't for position, but they are beginning to bypass. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett's in traffic. He's got Kenny Irwin Jr. just ahead of him, the 27th.
Dale Jarrett right now is on another page from everybody else. I tell you, this car is doing everything. It's flying down the straightaways. And as you said, Eli, it's really getting a good grip in the corner. You can see him right now. Jeremy Mayfield was a pretty strong contender not long ago. He just bypasses him coming up out of the corner there. No problem.
Let's take a look at some numbers here over the course of the last 8 races. Look at what Dale Jarrett has done in the last 8 races. 13 points better than Gordon, 126 better than Burton, 151. He's blown Bill Elliott away there. That's impressive down the stretch.
22 top 10 finishes, and just an incredible year. I mean, he's done everything. He's, let's see, he's got $2,332,000 won also. What a great year. He's on a roll.
To say the very least. We're at lap 255 of 312. Just 58 to go as everybody chases the championship.
Here we are at the World's Do-It-Yourself Finals. Larry Snyder's up in the routing compulsories. This man's making a name for himself today.
Welcome back, everybody. There is the race leader, Dale Jarrett, now by 2.5 seconds on Rusty Wallace, by 4 1/10 on Dale Earnhardt. Bobby Hamilton is 8 seconds back, and Kenny Schrader in 5th is 14 seconds back. That's the kind of impressive run that Jarrett's got going right now. Getting around Lake Speed, putting him yet another lap down. Lake will go 4 in arrears. They're looking for Jeff Gordon. Now there's Rusty Wallace. Jeff Gordon is continuing to backslide through the field, though.
Yeah, he's all the way back to 9th right now, and it won't be long before he loses some more positions. He's really off the pace.
All right, now what do? You've driven these things. I haven't, buddy. Do you just stay out there and, lose the occasional position occasionally? Or do you say, let's go in and lose a couple of laps and try and get this problem rectified? I would think you'd stay out there and just hang on and, lose the position slowly.
You can do two things. You can stay out there, but if it gets worse, you're going to have to do something because you don't want to go head on into the wall and lose all the spots. It's better to salvage some position and just keep gambling and maybe get into the wall. But it must not be any worse. He slowed down a little bit. Now he's just waiting and riding.
Of course, with him backsliding through the field, his point lead would be only about 113 points. If things don't change between now and the end of the race.
Eli, I'm telling you, the national championship is hard to earn. If it was easy, there would be a lot more people in the book.
Yep.
They have to earn this thing, and things just like today. Last week, on the first lap, he crashed into the wall, messed up the drive plate in the back axle there, and it backed off to the point they had to change the bolts in it. He was very lucky last week. We could have a different leader right now.
And you talked about pressure in your open, Buddy Baker. Imagine the pressure on Jeff Gordon right now, having to hang on to that race car, not have anything go wrong with it, just to hang on so he can bring that thing to Atlanta still in a solid points lead.
And this guy right here, he's doing everything perfect. I wouldn't be a bit surprised when we leave here that he'll be in second place in the national point standing. And going into Atlanta, if he's within 100 points, don't count Dale Jarrett out of the national point standing.
There's Kyle Petty running a solid 11th here today. And Matt leaving Rockingham the other day. Kyle thought he might just have a darn good day today. 11th isn't bad, but Dale Jarrett's closing in to about put him a lap down.
Well, he wanted to ride his Harley out here with Waddell Wilson, Robin Pemberton, and Tim Harris, but he couldn't. He had some other obligations. He was going to try to commemorate his 500th start with a big ride across the country. He's having a good run today. He's the second youngest driver ever to reach the 500th mark. His dad, the King, was the youngest, but the King never won his 500th start according to NASCAR's media guidebook. He won his 500th at first. Hopefully Kyle can get up to the front and give it a good show here at the end.
267 laps are complete, 46 to go. The storylines continue to grow. Who's going to grab the win here, and what's the scenario going to be heading to Atlanta?
And as you watch this 88 car of Dale Jarrett, it's very tempting to give a lot of credit to the driver, but let's also give some credit to the crew. Monday night after Rockingham, the crew went to the shop. They worked until 1:30 in the morning to get this car ready. Back again at the shop, 7 a.m., worked on the car, came out here. There's a lot of blurry eyes in that operation. This is a whole team effort. It's not just the driver, folks.
And there goes 11th place, now a lap down as Kyle Petty is bypassed. Next in line to be passed will be Steve Grissom. He's running in 10th. Back to Matt Yoakum.
Well, Eli, Dale Jarrett has never run this car before. Ernie Irvin and Kenny Irwin have. DJ said if he liked it, he will run this particular chassis style next year. This is the Yates in-house chassis program put up by Don Letarte, who used to work over at Hendrick Motorsports. This car sat on the pole at the Brickyard, gave Kenny Irwin some good runs earlier in the year. And I'll tell you what, if performance is the way it's showing now, I bet you DJ will be in a chassis like this next season.
Could well be. Dale Jarrett is leading. The best he's ever done here was 5th in 1989. He's trying to better that here.
Loose and hit the wall and turn 4, or just prior to. They're going to change 4 tires on the Chevrolet of Jeff Gordon. They tried to ride it out, but it didn't work. 4 tires, and they do know the left front tire that was flat. Left front.
Here's what happened. Let's take you back.
Okay, you can see right there, the left front's flat. He went right up to the wall. Very lucky he didn't wipe the car out. Going in the corner, when you have a left front like that and you're on the brake, it takes off right for the wall.
There is the tire. Now, Gordon had just been lapped on the racetrack by Dale Jarrett, and all the scoring is now cycling around. Gordon will be in 30th position, 3 laps down. 30th position, 3 laps down. How about them apples for the championship chase now?
Eli, we were talking earlier, it could be left front or right front when you get a vibration. We talked about that a long time ago. It's very hard to tell the difference. It finally showed up. The left front went flat going in the corner. But the big question is what he says to the crew later on, whether he's actually got rid of the vibration in the car when that tire went flat.
Good question. Now, obviously, with fresh tires, he blows right by Jeff Bodine there in the 7th. We're at lap 276 of 312. And this is going to be a huge change in the points. Look at that. Only 38 points back is Jarrett. 10 back further is Martin. And that likely, barring a major problem, won't change a whole ton because we're within shouting distance of the finish here in Phoenix.
But you almost can't say barring a major problem. So many things have happened in this point chase. In 1997, it seems as if every time it settles down, something like this happens and turns the whole thing upside down. It's been so close all year long.
Remember, we showed you on the pre-race, our half-hour pre-race show today, the bullets that Gordon dodged last Monday at Rockingham, scrubbed the wall, had the axle cap come loose in the left rear. Managed to avoid those problems pretty darn well. Not today.
And you know, it even started at Daytona. Remember Daytona when he almost went a lap down, got the caution flag exactly when he needed it. He has had good luck all year long until now.
Boy, I'm just, you know, just talking about the championship, just bonus points alone in Atlanta, leading the most laps, leading the A lap. So many things can really close this thing up. I wasn't going to Atlanta because I have to go to Japan the next morning. I'm going now.
I don't blame you. We'll all be there to watch that one. There is Jeff Gordon still in 30th, 3 laps down. Let's set it for you up front first. You've got Dale Jarrett leading by 6 seconds on Rusty Wallace. Bobby Hamilton, there you see him. He's running in 4th right now, and he was on the Busch pole. Is in 3rd. He's 9 seconds back, and Hamilton's 10 seconds back to the race leader, Dale Jarrett. You really have got to appreciate what Jarrett's done here, going from being a lap down. Remember the sequencing, folks. He had made a pit stop, Jarrett did, at lap 128. And then just seconds later, Ward Burton hit the wall lap 131, and that really put Jarrett and a host of others behind the 8 ball. And he's just powered himself back to the front without benefit of caution flags. That's strong. We're at lap 281. There's the culprit closing in on the finish. Oil World of Outlaws rolling to Vegas. Their own kind of high-stakes, high-speed game of chance. The Las Vegas Shootout on TNN Motorsports. Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on TNN. There is 3rd place up for grabs. Earnhardt the 3, Bobby Hamilton the 43.
Earnhardt falling back. His tires have gone away on him. You can see Bobby Hamilton handling quite a bit better. That's DW still soldiering along. Car's been good all day, but nobody looks like the 88 car, Dale Jarrett.
Now, Darrell is now a lap down at 13th, but you're right, he's had a good run today.
Yeah, you could walk out of here with your chest poked out.
Oh, sure.
Just being one lap down with that 88 car today. He is flying.
Looking ahead just a bit, if you want to start talking it over with your friends at home, what the Atlanta scenario is going to be like. Remember that in the spring, Dale Jarrett won the race in Atlanta and led 253 of the laps. Mark Martin was 6th in Atlanta in the spring, and Jeff Gordon was 24th. Now, past performance, however you handicap it at home, may or may not mean a thing to you, but those are the facts from back in the spring.
The other fact is it's a brand new racetrack. They took a bulldozer, they knocked the whole thing down. The shape of the racetrack is different. It's all brand new paving, and it is wicked, wicked fast.
194 miles an hour the other day for Kenny Irwin in testing.
Hear my words. Restrictor plate. Restrictor plate.
Not for next week or the week after.
No. The top title guys all want him to leave the rules alone. Jarrett, Gordon, Mark Martin have all said the same thing. Don't mess with the rules. We'll race fast. It's fine with us.
And NASCAR's been very clear not to say a thing about any restrictor plates.
Well, they might say that, but I tell you, that's awful quick on a 1.5-mile racetrack. No matter how good a grip it is, when you really get down to qualifying setups and all, they're going to qualify 196 miles an hour.
Brett Bodine going yet another lap down. He's running in 30th. Brett is.
Dick Simon of IndyCar fame is here this weekend to help him. Simon works for his car owner, Andy Evans.
Right. Dale Jarrett took the lead at lap 240. We're now at 292. There's Jarrett, 6 2/10 seconds back is Rusty Wallace. I mean, not only has he made up a lap, but he's made up a lap plus all of that real estate. That's remarkable.
Eli was actually 2 car lengths from going a full lap down.
Yeah.
Drove away from the leader, come all the way around to 3rd place. Now, I mean, when he went by and took the lead, it wasn't even a question mark. It was like he was on another page. We talked about that earlier. This car is flying down the straightaway, but it's working well, too.
For all you guys who wonder if you could ever make it, let us remember a bit of racing history with Dale Jarrett with his own race car and struggling to pay the bills and struggling to have enough wherewithal to get to the next race, and he toughed it out. Look at him now, contender for the championship, solid run here today, another potential winner. If he gets this one, it's going to be his 7th victory of 1997, and how many people wrote him off how many times in his career?
Couldn't win for that longest time, finally got that victory in Pocono, and things started to turn.
Can you imagine going into the bank and saying, I want to borrow money to build a race car? He say, could you run that by me again? For what?
Not only does he have a race car, he's now the proud proprietor of DJ's Diner.
Yeah.
Good reviews on that, too.
Yeah, I hear the food's real good.
Yeah. Well, he's cooking today. We'll get back to the race here. He's doing a great job. Yeah.
We'll have to go up there and eat him at a house at home one day.
That's what, Conover?
Yeah.
Conover, North Carolina.
Jeff Gordon's up to 23rd now. He's still 3 laps down, but nevertheless, he is creeping up in the point standings again. There's Rusty Wallace. He's in 2nd.
Yeah, he got sideways coming off turn 4. We just got a report down in the truck there said he was very sideways coming off turn 4. I didn't see it, but Rusty's driving his heart out. He just is not sticking in the corners as well as Dale Jarrett is.
Riding with Jeremy Mayfield.
Dick Trickle pitting.
Trickle in at lap 297. He was in at 221, so only 56 laps ago. So this would be a little short.
I was speculating that he has a problem. He's coming in a little slower than the speed limit down through there. He's got something wrong with the 90 car. Dick Trickle does.
Let's go back and watch what happened to Rusty Wallace there. We have the report that he's there. He does indeed do a little dance off the corner. Didn't cost him, though. Dale Jarrett still leading. by 6 4/10 seconds, Matt.
Todd, you've been warning your driver, watch the fuel mileage. It'll be 94 laps to the finish from your last stop. Can you go all the way?
It's not a matter of can we go all the way. It's a matter of we're going all the way. 24 car had some bad luck a while ago. We got to win this race. We ain't going to win this championship by coming in and getting a little bit of gas with 2 to go. We're going to roll the dice. Dale Jarrett drove his tail off here today, and he deserves what he gets today, I can tell you that.
They have never given up. They're hoping to capitalize on the 2014's misfortune, hoping to get some good luck and get back in that title chase, which they are desperately wanting to get.
Well, we heard a report earlier today that they were going to try to stretch it to 220. They stopped on 217, so it is a roll the dice situation for them. But like they say, when you're trying to win the championship, you have to do what it takes to win the race first. That put them in a great spot. If they run out of fuel, hey, it would have been bad if they stopped anyhow.
Yeah. Dick Trickle's car being pushed back up the pit lane, and you guys are right, more than just an early stop. It was a problem for the Heilig-Myers Ford. So here with just 12 miles to go, Dick Trickle will be going to the garage area. There you see them pushing the Heilig-Myers team back up the pit lane. He'll join Ricky Craven, Ward Burton, and Steve Park as the only retirees. Next time by, it'll be 10 laps to go for Dale Jarrett.
That was a great shot of Dale Jarrett getting in the corner just now. His gloves were absolutely stationary on the wheel going into the corner. Didn't have to turn them left or right. The car is sticking right where he wants it.
Jeff Gordon is running in 21st. There he is. If you're joining us along the way, or maybe tucked out for a second to check on your favorite NFL team, he had problems finally. Put him up near the wall in turn 3 and 4. An unscheduled stop at lap 273. And Jeff Gordon is now on the track, 3 laps down. But he is now back up to 21st, now to 20th position. So he is picking up points again as he climbs his way back up the leaderboard.
But he's also got to really stick his neck out for every position as opposed to Jarrett. Jarrett's got that nice, comfortable lead. Gordon, he's got to be right on the ragged edge, get every car he possibly can.
There you see Dale Earnhardt just ahead of Jeff Gordon. Earnhardt's running in 4th. What a good day.
Yeah, you have to remember the 24 made a pit stop not long ago, took on some tires, so actually Earnhardt's doing a pretty good job out there. At one time very dominant, but now the car is not up to speed as far as Dale Jarrett, nobody else has either.
Of course, Earnhardt had early problems. The toe-in was knocked out. He was involved in a spin off the corner at lap 56.
But it's getting awful close to a full year without a win for Dale Earnhardt in the black number 3. Boy, there's some championships right there.
Between Dale and Darrell Waltrip. There's Kenny Schrader running well. He's 13, nearly 14 seconds back. But a strong top 5 run for him. You know, we were looking at the numbers before. Dale Earnhardt, before this 57 race winless streak, his career win ratio was 1 win in every 8 starts. You know, that's amazing.
Schrader is having a good race today. In fact, he's having a good tail end of the season. Said yesterday he's about where he wanted to be when the year began. They've had some communications things that they've had to develop with a new team, but Schrader's got it pretty well together right now.
It'll be 5 laps to go. Next time Dale Jarrett gets back to the stripe.
You can see Darrell Waltrip and Earnhardt having a battle there. They're just having a good time now. They know that neither one of them are going to win the race. They're going at it, though.
They're a lap apart, but nevertheless, with Earnhardt in 4th and Darrell Waltrip in 12th, they're having their own private battle. Haven't heard much about Mark Martin. There he is, and he's running in 6th. He's on the lead lap, 17 seconds behind Dale Jarrett.
His right front fender's pushed in a bit as well.
5 laps to go.
Whoa, you can see Martin's car getting really loose there just in front of Joe Nemechek, number 42. So it's not a ride around here. He's earning everything he's doing. But what a great shootout this is going to be for the national championship. Mathematically, all 3 cars, Martin, Jarrett, and Gordon, really have a great chance at the championship.
Jarrett still got some 76 racing fuel left, Matt.
Now, he has slowed his pace nearly a second and a half. His spotter is telling him where the 2-car is so he doesn't give up too much track space. But he knows that they have to go to the finish, and they know the big picture of the championship is on their minds, and they hope for 185 points today.
Now that is for position. That's for 4th place on your screen. Earnhardt in the 3, Schrader in the 33.
A little deja vu last week. Earnhardt backpedaling at the very end of the race.
You can see the 3-car of Earnhardt coming off turn 4 there, jumping out sideways. He's used the tires up. Schrader's running a very high line around the racetrack. Seems to get good drive off the corner, so, hey, he just went right on by Earnhardt.
Very solid run there.
Schrader's 12.5 seconds behind the leader.
White flag will be out next time by. They are now less than 2 miles to settle it. The Dura-Lube 500K presented by Kmart is seemingly going to be the 7th win of the year for Dale Jarrett.
I know they're thinking gas mileage. I'm just behind him, about a half a corner back, is Rusty Wallace. He's had a great run today, but this guy's had a super run.
White flag is in the air as Jarrett now conserving fuel. Impressive is not even the right adjective. Dominating. First win at Phoenix. His 7th win of the year. 15th win of his career. And the 3rd win at Phoenix for Robert Yates Racing. Dale Jarrett will win the Dura-Lube 500K. Mark Martin will come home in 6th. Jeff Gordon will come home in 17th position. And there you have the rundown of the fellas battling for the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship as they head to the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the season finale in 2 weeks. Now it's time to award our Pit Crew of the Race Award, brought to you by Miller Lite, who invites you to sit back and enjoy Miller Time. There's the man.
Todd Parrott, talking to DJ on the radio. Congratulations, a great win for you guys.
Yeah, take your victory lap there, dude. Better not. Might run out of gas. Down there by the start-finish line somewhere.
Well, you made it on fuel mileage.
Yeah, well, we finally won us a fuel mileage race. This race right here was won by Dale Jarrett, man. I mean, went a lap down, made a little gutsy call early, and what can I say? It was just an awesome day. We had great pit stops. This is one of them Robert Yates in-house cars, and this is for all the guys back at the shop and, you know, the guys that are here that worked so hard on this car. And they said it would win, and Dale Jarrett proved today that it can win.
It puts you back in the title fight.
Yeah, like I said, the man with the most luck is the one that's going to win this thing at the end. And right now I feel very fortunate. The good Lord looked after us all day long and come out on top. I'd like to say hey to Debbie and Tyler. Love you guys.
Well, Todd, on behalf of TNN and Miller Lite, we'd like to present you with the Pit Crew Award for a great job today.
Thank you much. Appreciate it.
A little emotion as everybody now packs up, heads east to Atlanta to settle the championship in 2 weeks' time.
Your mom, what do you suppose she's up to, right?
He has won at Atlanta. He won at Darlington. He won the second race of the year at Pocono, Bristol, Richmond, and Charlotte. And now he has conquered the Valley of the Sun. Let's hear from Dale Jarrett.
Well, guys, I'll tell you what, I'm a little excited here for the 15th time in his career, 7th time this year, but for the first time ever on TNN, first time ever for me. Way to go, bro. What a performance.
Thank you. I'd like to take the credit, but what an awesome race car. We were pretty good from the beginning, and Todd made some adjustments. We got a little loose, and then we stopped a little early because we were loose and the caution came out, and had to work hard after that. But the last two sets of Goodyear Eagles that I had were just awesome. It's a great tire that they've got here. This car will just work flawlessly. I was worried about fuel there. We don't get the best fuel mileage, but the car was good enough that I was able to conserve it and really make it easier to drive and everything. So just an awesome day for us.
Well, Dale, by an estimation only, you're only about 60 to 70 points behind Gordon now for the championship. Puts a new light on going to Atlanta.
Well, we got a chance, and that's all we asked for is going down there is to have a shot at it. And it's been just a great year, thanks to Ford Quality Care and Ford Credit, Texaco, Plasticoat, Gillette, White Rain, everybody that helps us here, we just appreciate it a lot. I want to say hi to my family that didn't get out here. Kelly, I'll see you tonight. But kids, I'll see you soon. And Carson, congratulations to you yesterday. She won her 3rd gymnastics meet out of 4 this year. And I hope Natalie did the same this afternoon. I don't know how you did, babe. Zach, we'll see you soon. Jason, thanks.
All right, congratulations again. We were just told you're now 77 behind. You're 2nd place going into Atlanta.
That's great. We're looking forward to it, and you know, it's going to be a fast race, and we look forward to the challenge. We've got a shot. That's what we've worked 31 races for, and just thank these guys. They're awesome. Motor guys, everybody. This is first time we've ever run this car. It's an in-house car. We built it at Robert Yates Racing, so the guys did a terrific job. Way to go, guys.
Well, they certainly did. And now, hang on one more time. Eli wants to ask a question. Eli?
I was just curious. Last Monday, Bobby Hamilton got kissed by his crew chief, Robbie Loomis. And here you guys are blood relatives and just a little old handshake.
Well, how about a hug? He was wanting to know. He said last week Robbie Loomis kissed Bobby Hamilton when he won. I don't think we'll kiss, but we will give a big family hug.
I would think you guys deserve it. Job well done for the Jarrett clan today. Dale Jarrett wins here at Phoenix. High fives all around. Don't you go anywhere. We've got lots to talk about. And welcome back as the fans begin to head out on towards 115th Avenue and leave that beautiful setting nestled alongside the Estrella Mountains. Phoenix International Raceway, and that view provided by our Dura-Shine cameras. Advanced auto polish is what Dura-Shine is. Just hose it on, wipe it off. Dura-Shine now available at Pep Boys, Western Auto, Kmart, and Target Auto Stores. Let's head back to the garage now. Mark Martin, strong run today. He comes home in 6th spot, and that means he's only 87 back.
And Mark, you guys chased the race car all day. I heard you guys talking to Jimmy Fettig, Steve Meal. It was loose, but you guys really did a good job of chasing it.
Well, we dug ourselves in a deep, deep hole at the beginning of the race. I never thought we would recover so well, but this Valvoline team did an awesome job. And Cummins and all the folks, you know, we kept it in the championship contention anyway. We came back from back in the very back of the field up to 6th with the ill-handling car, so we made the thing better, and at least we're still in contention going into Atlanta.
Mark, what do you guys do now between Atlanta?
Race Homestead, do appearances, and get the cars ready to go to Atlanta. Just regular stuff.
Will you test?
We've already tested at Atlanta.
All right, thank you.
Thoughts of Mark Martin as he now relaxes after a hard day at the office here at Phoenix International Raceway. We've got some time to bring you some extra features. One of those is Glenn Jarrett with our Peerless feature, brought to you by the do-it-for-yourself faucet, Peerless.
You know, one of the questions we're asked most often by NASCAR fans around the country is, hey, how can a guy that finished 15th win more money than a guy that finished 4th? Well, pay attention. We're going to try to explain this. The number one reason is the plans that all NASCAR car owners are on. The most lucrative is the Winner's Circle plan. That's for guys that have won the most races in the last year. That's worth about $300,000 to the team. Number 2 is Plan 1. Those are for the guys that were in the top 30 in the point standings last year. That's another couple $100,000. The third way is Plan 1C. That changes every 10 races. It's based on a combination of where you are in the points and how you finished in those 10 races. And the other way, contingency awards. Look at this week's entry blank here at Phoenix. Look up here, qualifying and special awards. Look at this list of contingency awards. Now, go to the race car. If you use the decals for those contingency companies, then you're eligible for that money. The Busch Beer Pole pays $5,000. Leading it halfway, Gatorade pays $10,000. Hey, let's not forget Opryland, the great entertainment, $4,000. Any combination of these, the plans and the contingency money, can make your purse read a whole lot higher than the guy above you. NASCAR did this as an effort to reward the teams that come and race every week. Very innovative, but man, it's confusing. I've had enough.